All right. All right, let me get the countdown started real quick for everybody. And we'll get it popping, man. It's gonna be a goodie. Hey, yo, what's going on, everybody in the building? If you could hear me, let me know. Give me a one in the chat. We got a special guest here tonight. Got my man, the one and only, the Village Arsonist. If you want to introduce yourself, let it be known, my dude.
What's going on, man? Appreciate you having me on. Just a local troublemaker, man. Pretty much came here, man, to talk about came to YouTube rather, pretty much to speak on black conservatism. That was really what got me on the YouTube. Wanted to talk about real black conservatives. I got tired of people like Candace Owens pretty much having a monopoly on that title. So that's pretty much where I got my start, man. That's pretty much what I'm here to do.
That is what's up, man. We're gonna get into that too, man. We're gonna get into that. I'm waiting for the chat to fill up real quick. SKC is in the building. Got my man Enigma. We're gonna get a couple other people up in here in a few minutes. Oh, my little man over there. Oh man, baby with me too. He's a special guest, man. So TVA, what's up, man? Let's go straight to it. Tell me a little bit about yourself, man. You mentioned black conservatism earlier. We'll get into that, but give me a little bit about your upbringing and who is TVA and what makes TVA.
Straight out of the suburbs, man. Well, suburbs slash country. That's pretty much my upbringing. Grew up country slash suburban. Spent a few months in the projects with my dad. When my dad got divorced from my mom, she was in the suburbs, got remarried, and I had family out in the country on both sides. My dad, he got remarried, but he kind of stayed in the hood. So I spent a few months in the projects. I mean, I saw some of the dysfunction there, but I saw a lot of dysfunction in the suburbs as well. A lot of dysfunction in the country. You know what I mean? So I don't like to label the hood necessarily, but yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much a suburban slash country. Played football in high school, love sports, big on guns, like technology, I like black nerd shit. Pretty much, I would describe myself as a country ass black nerd. That would be the best description of me. That's what I would use to label myself.
Nah. That's one thing I'll give you, man. Like you're not in one lane. You're not in one lane. You stand in your square. One thing I'll say about yourself is that you stand in your square. You took on some of the biggest YouTubers. Most of these guys would have kissed ass and not said nothing to certain things that were wrong. But you stood on your square, man, and I salute you on that, man. I've said some things, man, but all in all, I think you were good dude, man. So you explained the suburb part, man. I grew up mainly in the hood. I just moved to the suburbs about, I want to say about 12 years ago. I've been living in New York, the hood part. And it's not as bad as people say it is, There is a lot of creativity out there that for some reason doesn't come out, but I think it's there. So go into detail what you see in the suburbs that gives you the ire in your own words.
First off is the hypocrisy. A lot of people in the suburbs like to put on this front like everything is perfect and there's only dysfunction with the poor people. I was rich by any means, but I was very blessed. I mean, we never missed a meal, clearly, right? And had top quality education, opportunities. So I mean, I can't really complain about my upbringing as far as financially, being poor or whatever like that. We weren't poor necessarily. We weren't rich. We weren't poor, but a lot of people in the suburbs like to look down on poor people and pretend like there's no violence in the suburbs and there's no dysfunction in the suburbs, and that's just those people over there. And I saw the drugs. Like I tell people all the time, I graduated. I use that. I say that for a reason because I went to several high schools. We jumped around a
Gotcha.
lot. But I
Hmm.
graduated from a 95 to 98% white high school. And
Mm.
I saw the drug dogs there every other week. Cool. Come on. Every other week, we had drug dogs sniffing lockers, trying to find the drugs because they were there. I saw the pregnant
Mm.
girls coming to school, white girls knocked up by white
Hmm.
dudes, and the white dude wasn't trying to have it, and his moneyed family didn't want to be bothered with the bastard kids. So y'all saw that. I saw the child abuse. I saw the mental illness that goes on in the suburbs, violence. I saw how
Hmm.
people are given a pass if they have money. Whereas, in the hood, if you get caught with an ounce of weed, your black ass going to jail. But Todd over here, because his dad is a deputy or some shit like that, or you know what I mean, his dad knows so and so, he gets away with it. So I notice there's a lot of hypocrisy in the suburbs. That's one thing I don't like.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you, man. Because I saw that really when I went to college, and we went to a PWI, and they do, white people do like drugs. I ain't gonna front.
Oh
they
yeah,
like their
oh yeah,
drugs. They like their hard drugs. Some like weed, you name it. But with the hood too, it wasn't. They like their drugs too. It wasn't as bad as people say it is. Because like I guess me and you we're from two different places. So like if someone is caught with an ounce of weed, like usually they're out if they can make bail. If
right.
they can make bail, they'll be out. But like I don't know what it's like down south. The furthest I live down south is in Maryland right now, where I'm at. So
Oh
like
damn.
yeah, like we consider that the south.
Oh shit.
But
So
I've
we
been to
must be the damn. We must be the pits. God damn, man. Shit. Out here in
you
Georgia
know,
and Alabama, y'all motherfuckers must think we different creatures and species of human or some shit in this motherfucker. God
but
damn.
you know what's crazy though, bro? Like I don't think so after a while because I was like, you know what? I went to Georgia. It's very nice over there. I was on the I-95 side. I wasn't on I-85 side. So
Okay.
I know there's two different sides. So it's like it was nice over there, man. It's not as country as people wanted to say it is. Like the country parts to me are more upstate New York than anything because there's no like black farms. There's none of that over there. So it's like a whole different world, man. So it's crazy, man. But interesting story, man. Now what was your experience like growing up in the hood? You said you lived there for a few months. How was that like?
Yeah. I spent a summer with my dad in the
Gotcha.
in the projects, and he's a real religious guy. He was well liked in the community. He was the guy that would fix kids' bikes and do shit like that, for free and shit like that. And he would have us go outside and pick up trash and shit. Me and my stepsister, because we were the only ones old enough to do that. My other siblings were like toddlers, so they didn't help. But me and her would go outside. We had to pick up trash and shit. He was big on trying to improve where you live. And that part of him, he has his faults, but that part really rubbed off on me. And I saw how other people in the community didn't give a shit. I saw, people just throwing trash all over the place. And, I saw the crackheads and the drunks and, but they weren't all bad people. Now I heard the gunshots. But one of the things I remember the most is I actually let me correct myself. It was longer than a summer. It was a summer. And then I told my mom, I said, you know what? I think I want to stay with my dad for a year. She was like, you sure? I said, yeah. I said, okay. So I actually went to school. It was called Cook Elementary. I believe it was the name of Cook Elementary in Atlanta, Georgia. Cook Elementary School. And I went there for a few months. That shit lasted a few months, man. But I noticed the lack of educational opportunity there, man. Those teachers didn't give a fuck about those kids. I saw that as a kid. I saw that, man. I mean, we had one teacher that would go around during lunch, and she would like if we had chicken wings for lunch, she would go around and make all of us give her one of our chicken wings. I mean, it sounds small, but it's like, damn, bitch, like yeah, she was a fat chick. So it's like, why are you taking food from kids and shit? You know what I mean? And I noticed during the classes, the teachers didn't really care about teaching. I remember things like that. But all in all, I have to agree with you, man. I mean, the projects weren't. It wasn't totally negative, but the one thing I did notice was a lot of the despair. You know what I mean? People just seemed down. They didn't really seem motivated. It was nobody really seemed to want to get out of that situation. Everybody just seemed complacent. That's the number one thing I noticed is that most people just seemed complacent. They didn't really seem like they wanted to get out of that. They got used to it, and I didn't, man. I missed the suburbs after a few months, man. I was like, man, shit, fuck that shit. I'm not gonna lie, man. I missed it, bro, because I had a lot more to do at my mom's house for one. But most of my
Yeah.
siblings were with my dad, so I did enjoy hanging out with my siblings in the projects. But I do have to agree with you, man. It's not totally negative there.
Now I feel you, man. I feel you, and that's one thing. Like I think that the manosphere has been good at is that different people from different walks of life, we all connect. So like you said you're raised in the suburban area, and I was raised in the hood, and now we kind of got similar points of view, but we do have different points of view as well. And let me switch it now to what you said about your father, and he wanted to keep his neighborhood clean. He wanted to make sure that he improved his situation, and I kind of see that with you. Like you even through all your people will say your fire, you do want to see people improve. I mean that's why I would say that's the main reason you support Kevin Samuels. Am I right on that?
Yeah, that's the number one reason I support him. It's not about
Gotcha.
being a fan or none of that. No, it's his message of telling black men, look, get your shit together. Sometimes you got to put a suit on and handle business. There's a time and place to dress hip hop, and there's a time and place to
Hmm.
suit it and boot it and be corporate. And I support that message.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Yeah. And at first I was kind of befuddled by Kevin Samuels, but then I was like, you know what? He ain't bad. He's doing well. It is what it is. I don't have an issue with him. I might
I
joke
mean,
on him,
look,
but I don't have an issue.
just real quick. I
You
understand.
got it.
I understand some of the fashion. Just real quick. I understand some of the fashion. Like, I'm not telling dudes you got to agree with everything, and I'm not saying that. People act like it's not. It's not about that. But like trashing it. Bottom line, questioning the guy's sexuality based on these small points is a problem for me. I have a serious problem with putting that label on another black man. I made that mistake myself. And I correct myself. But I don't believe in questioning another black man's sexuality with no proof. That's my biggest problem with people's beef with Kevin.
I feel you on that. I feel you on that. And that's because like someone that big, I guess in their minds, if he is on the rainbow side, it will kill their whole momentum. I kind of
Right.
see it that way, but at the same time, like we were all conversating and supporting him prior to all of this. You know,
That's
Majority
true.
of us were. We can't now just turn our backs. Because there's little video of certain dudes on camera working with him.
Oh yeah.
On this same panel. So it's funny, man. My bad. You got it.
No, no, I was just agreeing with you. Yeah, there's a lot of I don't niggas. Who you calling us haters? I mean, it is what it is, bro. Like it seems like niggas just reaching, and I don't know why we got to do that to each other as black men, bro. We under attack enough as black men. People
Hmm.
trying to put us in dresses out here. People trying to turn black boys into little girls at 12 years old and shit. I mean, do we not as
Yeah.
black men see that black masculinity is under attack as enough? We can't be throwing that label on each other willy nilly. That's my issue. I don't like that shit.
All right. So let me throw a curveball at you real quick, man. They going in the chat hard, man. They going in the chat hard.
Oh shit.
We'll go with Ragnarok first. He says right here, does he? I mean, meaning you, TVA. Do you want to see this trailer monkey improve? I don't
I
know.
I do
Yeah, you
not
got it.
I do not hate white people. Okay? I don't hate white people. Now, am I a racist? Yes. Yeah, I'm racist. Yes, I do have racial biases. Absolutely. Everyone does. Ragnarok has racial biases, okay? I don't see a problem with that. The problem comes in when your racial biases are infringing on my rights as an American citizen. For instance, you got skinheads joining police departments wanting to beat niggas up and stuff. Legislators out here with weird fucking beliefs about black people. When it comes to this country, we have all contributed to this country. So you can have your racial biases. I don't give a shit. But when it comes to this country and the Constitution and laws and how we are treated as American citizens, your racial biases go out of the fucking window, as do mine. And that's my main issue. And I hope Ragnarok can finally come to that, see that about me. I do not hate white people. But I'm going to call out your bullshit just like I call out black people's bullshit. It is what it is. And you guys spew a lot of bullshit.
Gotcha, man. Gotcha, man. All right. So let's tackle the conservative thing real quick, and then I got a few other questions for you, man. What is your brand of conservatism, and in detail, in your own words?
I would label myself as a black nationalist conservative. Um, I I support segregation. I do not believe that integration worked in the best interest of black people. However, I understand that as a country, again, we are all citizens of America. White Americans have contributed to this country. Black Americans damn sure have contributed to this country, and I'm gonna claim that. Hispanic Americans have, all Americans have. So again, my racial biases have nothing to do with my views, my conservative views in regards to how this country is run. So I like to separate it. There's my conservatism when it comes to how I deal with black people, and there's my conservatism when it comes to how this country is run. The conservatism when it comes to black people. All right, look. In my opinion, religion is not working for us, which I know it sounds weird because a lot of people think conservatism and being religious is the same, and I don't believe that. But as far as black people, the numbers don't lie. We were doing a lot better when we had strong family units. We were doing a lot better when we acknowledged gender roles. We were doing a lot better when we had conservative values, when we valued education. Okay, when we valued uh, keeping our communities clean, okay, when we valued self-sufficiency, okay, back in the day we had our bus companies, taxi companies, you had black men, what's the name of it, Peter, I know it's not Peterbilt, Peterson, I think it was named Peterson. Black men were building cars. We had our own car companies. I'm not talking about dealerships. No, black men owned assembly lines. We were building cars. We had our own car manufacturing companies. Why don't we have that in 2022? So I believe, conservative values, those conservative values that built Black Wall Street, because we wasn't twerking on Black Wall Street. Twerking and booty shaking didn't build Durham, North Carolina. It was black conservative values, self-sufficiency, family, structure, guidance, discipline. That's what built those great cities that we had. And I'm asking the simple question that David Carroll used to ask himself, and he was also a black conservative. Question is simple for black people. Why were we able to do all of this closer to slavery? If you're going to blame slavery, how is it that we had more self-sufficiency as black people closer to slavery back in the early 1900s, 1930s, 40s, 50s? That's when we had the black businesses, but now we don't. So the further away we get from slavery, the worse we get. but you're blaming slavery for the dysfunction. That doesn't make sense.
Mm. That speech right there, man, you could have ran for office right there, bro. But you brought a good point with religion. Um, why has the church and black men been separated? In your opinion, when did you think that happened, and why?
I think black men see the bullshit. I think black men, we got tired of sitting in church and hearing the pandering. We got tired of hearing the. First off, this goes way back again. Salute to Brother David Carroll. He spoke on how back during slavery, who did they go get? They needed somebody because the white people were tired of sitting in the church services. They were tired of snooping in on all these black people meetings where they could barely understand what these Negroes were saying. So they said, look, we need someone within the community that has influence that these Negroes will listen to, and someone that will report to us religiously to tell us what's going on with these Negroes. So this started back during the plantation days. The black pastor has always been the agent that's kept us vulnerable. He's always been the agent that's kept us dependent on this system. For instance, you look at now, where do the white liberals go now? They go straight to the black church. The white liberals go straight to the black church. Now, these are the same white liberals speaking abortion. These are the same white liberals pushing the alphabet agenda, putting boys in dresses. But these liberals are coming to the black church to talk to black people. I think a lot of black men are seeing the bullshit in that, and we just said, no, you know what? This black church ain't. It's just not. It ain't it. Y'all are agents. Y'all are agents of dysfunction. Look at all these black communities. Cool, come on. How many goddamn black churches are in South Central? How many black churches are in Atlanta, Georgia? All this violence and dysfunction and chaos in Atlanta, but you can't throw a rock without hitting a damn church. Come on, man. So it's clearly failed, and I think a lot of black men have seen the bullshit in it.
That's a good point, man. That's a good point. And you mentioned abortions as well, man. We recently had the news of well, it's not official yet, but the overturning of versus Wade. I think you were on the same show with Ramil where I think it was conservative revealed that Roe was even not even that functional mentally. You know, she basically lied about what happened. So, give me your thoughts on abortion going forward, man.
I'm actually pro-choice. Yeah, I'm pro-choice because not everyone needs to be parents. Okay. Bottom line is there are people out here that are just unfit for being parents, and I believe abortion should be available. However, I have a problem with women using it to make up for their recklessness, their reproductive recklessness. I don't believe that's what it should be for. Just to go out here and keep. I mean, you got women that have had multiple abortions, 2, 3, 4, 5 abortions. It's like, God damn, like, I mean, your pussy is literally a graveyard. What the fuck is that? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. So I, I'm I just don't want it abused, and I don't want to have to pay for it. Okay, so you know, if when it comes to people with money, um, taxes shouldn't go towards that. However, people that are poor, it's tough, man, because you're gonna have people. Look, if you listen to people, I listened to the Steve Harvey show a couple days ago. And Steve Harvey was talking about it. And you had people calling in saying, oh, well, it shouldn't matter how much money you have. Poor people should be able to have as many kids. It's not about money. It's about love. Love does not feed the kids. Love doesn't put food on the fucking table. Money puts food on the fucking table. Money matters when it comes to kids, okay? If you don't have any fucking money, if you're in the projects, if you're already surrounded by squalor, if you're already surrounded by poverty and desperation and violence and drugs, why would you bring a child into that? You see, so I'm not totally against it at all. I think that there are situations to where, you know what, abortion is a good idea. However, all right, learn your lesson. Don't keep raw fucking. Let's learn our lesson. Okay, I got pregnant. I was young and stupid. I'm not going to bring this baby into a poverty-stricken situation because I honestly, Kamasi, I don't know if you disagree or not, but I don't see how bringing a child into a fucked up situation is any better or any worse than killing. I don't see how. I don't see how.
Now you're right about that. I'll say this about abortions. I think we like to focus on the worst situations, and I think the majority of abortions are, to me, because HIPAA has released the facts. I think a lot of well-off, college-educated women or women that are in college are the main ones getting the abortions. Because if you're on Section 8 and you keep getting money for having children, why would you want to abort your kids? There's no incentive.
That's a
But
good point.
if you have a career and you got something going on, you're more than likely to do it. So it's a tough call because like we would never know until HIPAA releases or the medical. I don't know. They release something of those facts, man. And good point you brought out.
Well,
Now,
I just real quick, I support
yes, sir.
eugenics. I support eugenics. I'm a big supporter of
Uh,
eugenics, and I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it right there. I don't want to get people in trouble, but yeah, I support it.
oh no, you good, bro. You good, man. You good, man. So this conservatism, it sounds like you're kind of like it sounds pretty good. I think you're aligned with a lot of people in this chat, but I guess people got you confused with the racism angle and
Well,
your
because
previous concept.
they're not used to black conservatives talking about racism. They're used to these Negroes that call themselves black conservatives or conservatives, but when it comes to racism, oh, there's no racism. It doesn't exist. And that's what I keep trying to tell people like Tommy Sotomayor and these other people that want black people to support conservative causes. You can't on one hand want black people to support you, but then on the other hand pretend like there's no racism. But then you go to these Trump rallies and you're seeing Confederate flags, you're seeing Nazi flags at the Charlottesville rally. These same people that call themselves conservatives, these white conservatives holding Nazi flags. You got running nigger targets being sold at NRA shows. Oh yeah. So how you gonna want black people to vote for conservatives, but you got this kind of shit going on? And then you're gonna piss on me and tell me it's not raining, or tell me it is raining. But you see all this bullshit and you allow all this shit, but then you're gonna tell me there's no racism. Come on, man.
Okay, so let me ask you on that. What is racism to you in your own? Because everybody has their own definition or interpretation. What is racism to you?
Well, when I say I'm a racist, well, I say that as I I have racial biases. Like I mean, that's basically. But I don't believe in oppressing someone because they're not my race. However, yes, I want the black race to succeed. Yes, I want the black race to win. That doesn't necessarily mean I want everybody else to be fucked up and all that. But as far as us being on the bottom, as far as us being perpetual doormats, as far as us being this second class, servile class of people that's just here to entertain everybody and bullshit. No, I'm not supporting that. I want the best for my race. I'm a race man. Absolutely. I want the best for the black race. And I don't apologize for that. And that's why I call myself a racist. That's what I mean when I say racist for me. However, when I'm talking about other people, I have to speak on the level of society. When society says racism or racist, they're talking about someone that believes in oppressing other people because of what race they are. And I don't believe in doing that. So my definition of racist, I'm okay with. But the general definition of racist, yes, that's a problem. And again, I bring to light issues like white supremacists in the military. Again, federal government reports admitting to this problem. People can say I'm full of shit all day. Go argue with the federal government. Federal government talking about how you got white supremacists popping up in police departments. Again, go argue with the government, not me. Okay, so I think that's what separates me from these other so-called black conservatives. Again, black people, they're not going for the bullshit. Black people are not as dumb as people think. Okay, Black people can see bullshit. Black people can smell bullshit, and you're not gonna tell black people again. You're standing next to these white boys with Nazi flags, but race doesn't matter. It's bullshit.
All right. So you said a lot right there. Now the left though, they are kind of not as to me the right at least will tell you in their face if they don't like you. The left though kind of likes to hide behind it. You know, we come from two different parts. Like you were raised in Georgia, which is, you know, has it always been considered a red state?
I believe so. Yeah, Atlanta is pretty much blue, but the state of Georgia in general, yeah, is conservative. Yeah.
Okay, so it's conservative. So like you grew up with those conservative Confederate flags. You know, you grew up with that. I can't tell you what you've been through because, like, you know, for us, like, we thought like that up north, but like the one day I went up when I was upstate and I saw that Confederate flag, the guy over there was pretty much nice to me. You know, it wasn't a racist kind of experience. So it could be different experiences that you going through, and I think everybody else may or may not go through those things. We don't know because they haven't told us. But I do think that your opinion should not be invalidated because of that. I mean, that's your experience, what you go through. Now, we have a Trey right here. I know you and him had back and forth before, but it sounds like minus the racial things that you guys kind of are on the same wavelength in terms of closed borders, Second Amendment rights, keeping black, you know, I'll say keeping black children out of just dresses and all this other stuff. What are the differences you think between you and Trey, if you want to go in detail?
Well, uh, for one, Trey and shout out to SKC. He was in here. They talk about how they want to be separate from black people. I've always been a loyal person, man. I've always been kind of a frontliner kind of guy. I can't just give up on my people. And I keep bringing up David Carroll because he kept talking about how it's hopeless and black people are done, but at the same time, I think in the back of his mind, he understood there's a chance, there's a small chance, and I know a lot, but at the same time, I can't really dig on black people that give up because I know it seems like a hopeless situation. But my issue with Trey is, again, he's trying to tell black people to be conservative. We should be conservative, be conservative. But he's not willing to acknowledge the reasons why black people don't want to come over to that side. For instance, you talk about the white liberal. I know all about that white liberal. I do not trust the white liberal. The white liberal is full of shit. The white liberal is very clever. The white liberal has slaughtered more black people than any white conservative ever could. I say that openly. Abortion, Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood was started by a white supremacist white woman that also believed in eugenics. Okay, so you have a literal, basically Nazi organization being run by the liberal left, slaughtering black people. Okay, so I acknowledge the white liberal is an enemy for the most part. Okay, for the most part, but I can't get people like Trey to acknowledge that we also have enemies on the right. You also have white people on the right that are conservative and they also believe in oppressing black people. They think it's okay to just beat the hell out of some black person who's under arrest. We want to make jokes about you remember when Donald Trump made a joke about cops bumping people's heads on the car when they're under arrest? I mean, this is it's okay. It seems like it's okay to brutalize black people. It seems like these people, like Trey, he did a whole stream watching a video of some black men being shot during a traffic stop. Like, that's funny. That's funny. Like, I don't see anything funny about that. Whether they had it coming or not, I don't see anything entertaining about watching cops shoot a bunch of black men. That's nothing. I don't see anything funny about that. So I think the difference between me and Trey is that I don't think Trey wants to acknowledge that racism is an issue. Whereas me personally, I'm not going that route. I'm going to tell black people the truth, but I'm going to tell white people the truth too. You're not going to sit up here and on one hand talk about SJWism and talk about how black people are so sensitive, but then when black people want to protest by taking a knee, y'all want to burn your sneakers? Y'all want to get them fired? Shout out to Colin Kaepernick. I call out the bullshit on both sides basically, and I think that's the problem that Trey has with me. I'm not a team player as he would see it.
Interesting, man. Interesting, man. Kaepernick is an interesting character, man. He said a lot of comments towards black players that basically akin to slavery. I think it was something. I don't know if you remember that quote. He said, the black players going on the combines was like trying out for slavery or something like that. I might be wrong in my wording, but you mentioned Kaepernick. What are your thoughts on Kaepernick from when you first seen all of this to today?
I acknowledge that the guy is mostly full of shit. I acknowledge that. I acknowledge that a lot of this was just a photo op. I acknowledge that. My issue was the hypocrisy when it comes to censorship. That was my whole issue when it comes to Kaepernick. I'm not the biggest Kaepernick fan. Again, I believe it was all photo ops. The guy had a so-so record when it came to the NFL. So, I mean, I don't know what, maybe it was certainly a photo op. I don't know what more it was, but it was definitely a photo op. I'm sure there was some sincerity there, but yeah, I mean, I acknowledge that the guy's mostly full of shit. Again, however, when it comes to Kaepernick, it's about the hypocrisy when it comes to censorship. Okay, these same people want to whine about cancel culture, and the liberal left wants to cancel everybody. But it seems like the right, certain people on the right, also want to engage in cancel culture. And I'm calling out that bullshit, and people don't like it. So I'm not the biggest Kaepernick fan. Again, it was about the censorship hypocrisy for me.
Good point, man. Now, speaking of censorship, we'll go there, man. I saw your video with the gentleman named Rick Scorpio. I do not know who that is, but after looking at it, I said TVA has some good points because like the guys out here basically trying to cancel FBA, ADOS, whatever you want to call it, for speaking up their mind, but it's a two-way street. You have the Africans, and I haven't seen too many of the Caribbeans, but I've seen plenty of the Africans on Twitter versus the FBA ADOS. And that commentary that you made about Rick Scorpio did seem like he was threatening people, which could be a form of canceling. This has nothing to do with white people at all. This is two melanated people, man. So go into detail about that situation if you can, man.
Bottom line is, you're not going to come to my country and tell my people what the fuck we can and can't say on soil that we fought, bled, and died for. Okay, my ancestors fought, bled, and died for this. All of us African Americans, our ancestors fought, bled, and died for this. Black people have died in every single fucking war that this country has had. We are Americans. This is our country. I ain't on this, let's all go back to Africa shit. If y'all want to go back, hey, I'll support it. And it's not because I hate Africa necessarily, but this is my country. We built this shit. Okay? So I'll be damned if you got fucking foreigners coming over here. We already deal with enough shit from our fellow Americans. Okay? We're not going to allow foreigners to come over here. And now you want to physically threaten African Americans for speaking our mind about the treatment that we receive from these foreign blacks when they come over here. And we're telling the truth. Okay, I've had foreign blacks admit it. Foreign black people, if they're honest, they will admit that they have this bias towards us. They have really negative views and perspectives of us when they come over here, and they act on those negative perspectives. And because someone like Tariq Nasheed wants to point it out, we should be in fear now. We got to fear these foreign black people attacking us violently if we speak out about the treatment. No, I'm not having that. So that's what that was about. If you want to you want to have your opinion about what we're saying, that's fine. But you're not going to come over here to our land and physically fucking threaten us for speaking our minds about how you treat us in our fucking land. I'm not going for that shit. That's what that was
Now,
about. Rick
now,
Scorpio, by the way, he's an OG in the space. You know,
okay.
speaks a lot of real shit. You know, check out his channel. But I had to check him on that. We're not doing that. I'm not.
Would you
He's not.
say?
He's not. He's not going to allow me as an African American to come to Jamaica, whatever island country, because I think he's some islander, Jamaica. You can tell by his accent. He's not going to let me come to Jamaica and dictate what he can and can't say. Come on, man.
Gotcha, man. Now, would you say that's more of a leftist tactic of what he did, more than a conservative tactic? Because, like you mentioned the conservatives on that are like kind of they're not good people. Would that be a tactic that they would play towards a conservative like yourself, or would that be a leftist tactic of threatening your free speech?
I mean, I don't know, man. I can't say it's a leftist tactic because again, this right now the conservative god for a lot of people is Donald Trump. Well, Donald Trump tried to sue a comedian over a joke. He tried to sue a fucking comedian, Jon Stewart, over a joke. So it's like, I got to call that out on both sides. I can't sit up here and say it's only the leftists that want to silence people for having opinions, or want to silence people for making a joke against them or whatever, or it's only the leftists that are sensitive. I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing sensitivity on the right again. You had whole conservatives burning their sneakers because Colin Kaepernick got a Nike commercial. Come on, man. What's this about? You had Donald Trump calling for NFL players to be fired for taking a knee in protest. What's that all about? That sounds like cancel culture to me, bro. So you see what I'm saying? I can't. I got to call it out on both sides, and people hate me for that. And I don't, whatever.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Now, but with Trump though, they did kind of I wouldn't say permanently, but they did get him over social media. There's Elon Musk has now came to the picture. I don't know how you feel about it. He is the first African American to buy a major social media network. It's crazy, right? But what is it gonna be like going forward, man, with free speech, man? In your opinion?
I think it's getting worse, man. Shout out to Joe Biden with this new misinformation bureau, whatever the fuck. I'm trying to watch that, get information on that, but I'm not liking what I'm seeing. Yeah, I think it's getting bad, man. And the more influence that the Chinese government has over America, they have a total police state, surveillance state over there. There's no privacy, cameras all over the place and shit. The government can lock you in your house and force you to stay in your house and quarantine. And if you don't, they send you to work camps and shit. I mean, I don't want to live in a place like that. And that's one of the reasons why I do love America, because it's not like that yet. It's not like that yet. But unfortunately, I do see authoritarian um, uh, influences on both sides, man. I'm sorry. I gotta shout out to the liberals out here that want authoritarianism. You want to have your misinformation bureaus and police people's thoughts and speech. But I also got to shout out to the alt right and these guys on the right that want fascism, and they want to glorify fascism, and they want to glorify guys like Benito Mussolini and all this other shit. There's nothing nice about living under fascism. If you don't believe me, take your ass to Russia. And that's what's funny, is that a lot of these so-called conservatives that actually believe in fascism, they stay here. And I find that funny. I'm not saying all conservatives are like that. Not all liberals support authoritarianism, but you have that on both sides, and I call it out on both sides.
All right. Well, SKC has a statement here. He says TVA had a great point on Ramil's panel a few days ago. He called out all the people in the chat that all of a sudden were anti-Biden when the majority of black people voted for him. Biden people or voter supporters, whatever you want to call it, they are hiding. And what are your thoughts on the Biden supporters, man? It looks like we haven't heard from them lately since he's been elected.
Well, we shouldn't. We shouldn't. They need to shut the fuck up, because they've done enough damage. They've done enough damage, bro. Like, just that's one thing about black liberals that I can't stand is this notion that we should just keep throwing our votes away every election. You keep voting for these Negro Democrats. You got Negro Democrats like Elijah Cummings and these other guys that have been in office for years. Okay, well, let's step back and look at their area. It's a shithole. It's full of violence, drugs, dysfunction, and bullshit. So they're clearly not doing a good fucking job. Okay. So I mean, I think a lot of these Black Biden supporters need to shut the fuck up. It's time for them to be quiet, and it's time for them to really get some knowledge on politics and how politics really works. We as Black people have to understand the importance of money, putting these politicians in our pockets. Local elections. I'm tired of Black people running out here with these Biden signs, but you don't even know who the fucking mayor is in your city. You don't even know who's on the school board. You don't know who the police chief is. You don't vote for the fucking sheriff. You don't vote for the district attorneys. You don't go vote for judges, but you want to complain about how the system treats you. It's bullshit. Black liberals need to shut the fuck up and learn.
Now, a quick question about this politics. We get somewhere with it. Do you think that the 2024 election, I know the midterms are coming up, but do you think that Black people will be a major force into these coming elections as they were previously?
If we choose to be, but as long as we keep diluting our vote, spreading it, well, that's inevitable because we live all over the country, so that's really inevitable. But if we choose to be, man, but honestly, it's not looking good so far. Now, I'm encouraged by the silence of these Black Biden supporters because that tells me there's lots of regret. So that's some silver lining, right? Because I mean, it's hard to get people to admit that they're wrong. Okay, so I think that's a good thing. That's a good start. That's a good sign. Hopefully, a lot of Black people will sit out the election. I think Black people need to sit out the election. I think Black people need to sit out the elections, get an agenda together, and tell both sides, look, if you want our vote, this is what the fuck we want. You give us what we want, we will give you our vote. If you get in office and you do not give us what we want, we will fucking punish you. We're going to show up to the midterms. We're going to get you. We're going to get your. We're going to get your side out of the local offices as well. If you Democrats piss us off, we're getting you fucking Democrats out of all the local elections in our areas, and we're not voting for you. Same with the Republicans. We have to put our vote up for sale. The Black vote is for sale. Who wants it? Who wants it? If you want the Black vote, you got to give us something. And I'm not talking about no fucking reparations. Because sending a bunch of silly niggas checks, that's not going to work. Because Black people, we squander the wealth that we have. You're not about to tell me that sending Black people $20 trillion in reparations, overnight we're just going to gain all this financial responsibility and we're going to start building banks and schools and companies so we can stop whining about hiring discrimination. No, I don't see that happening.
Interesting, man. Interesting. Now, you mentioned the reparations, man, and these past couple of weeks, man, we had a shout out to Brother Xavier and the Prophet of Thought series. They had the conversation about reparations. Shout out to D. Durrell as well. He had a crazy number of $500 trillion. Hearing from you, it sounds like you're not for reparations, man. Go into detail as to why. I know you laid a little bit into it, but if you can go into full detail, if you can.
Basically, if you look at what we're doing with the wealth that we have now, it's I mean, I don't see how anybody could argue against what I'm saying. Look at how we squander the fucking wealth that we already have. Buying bags, shoes, clothes, and stupid shit. This is the men and the women. But what are we doing? Are we putting that money towards the school? We complain about racism in the schools. We complain about hiring discrimination. We complain about the banks not giving us loans. What are we doing with the wealth that we already have, right, to counter these problems? Absolutely nothing. So again, you're not about to tell me that we're squandering the money that we already have, but you send us $500 trillion fucking dollars like D. Durrell was. Good luck with that shit. Okay. But if you send us 500 trillion, all of a sudden, overnight, we're going to gain some responsibility. We're going to gain some wisdom. We're going to say, all right, you know what? Let's start building our own shit. No, I believe if you send reparations to black people right now, with the mental state that we have right now in general, 80 to 90% of that money is going to go right back out of the black community. Why do I say that? Because that's what's happening now.
Interesting, man. Interesting. Do you know who Linwood is? Have you heard that name,
Linwood,
Linwood? Yeah.
I've heard of it. I'm not sure what is that or who is
All
that.
right. He's a gentleman that's made his way around TPOT show, SKC, Good Mother, quite a few other people, and he's a little bit older than us. I would say maybe he's late 30s, and there was a part of it where they said he was still living at home with his parents, and everybody had their own ways of trying to fix the situation. And the first person that came to mind was you, because I said you have done trucking. I don't know if it's over a decade or right under a decade. If anybody can give advice on how to get out of the situation they can get in, it will be you and guys like Trey, guys like TPOT. What do you think for black men in going into trucking, or even men in general going into trucking? What are your thoughts into that, man? Because that's something that you do, and what are the things that they got to look out for?
I think the brothers need to go out here and learn these trades, man. We got to learn these trades, man. One thing I salute these immigrants for doing, they come over here and they find one niche industry or a few niche industries, whether it's nail salons or whether it's the Mexicans taking over all the tire shops or it's the Indians owning all the 1 and 2 star motels. You know what I'm saying? Like these immigrants come over here and handle business. So I can't hate on them for that. Black men got to go out here and get these trades, man. Okay, HVAC, plumbing, electrician. But here's the problem: those trades are not valued in the community. They're not. You get laughed at for being an electrician. You get laughed at if you tell a bunch of niggas that you're a plumber. You get laughed at if you tell a bunch of niggas that you own a roofing company. You get laughed at. And that's a problem. A lot of black men are discouraged from going into trades because trades are looked down upon in the community. Everybody wants to be a fucking rapper and athlete. And we're getting left behind. We can't keep doing this, man. So it's not just trucking, trades in general. I don't have a problem with university education. Get your education. But I don't see why you need to go in debt $50,000 to do it. When you have all these trades out here that really need bodies, man, they're looking for tradesmen out here, welders. The trades are wide open for black men. All these niggas out here unemployed and all that. There's no excuse other than laziness and a cultural problem.
Mm. Okay, got you, man. I agree on that point, man. I don't know why. To me, I don't know why dudes don't just apply themselves, regardless of how people feel about it. But that's another conversation in its own right. Um, I want to pull up this comment here from Mr. Nelson. I don't know how true it is. He says, TVA and some other dudes in the space. Funny, y'all never pocket watch other groups, especially Jewish people. I don't know, what he's trying to say. Maybe you kind of got an idea. Let me know what's going on, man.
I do pocket watch other groups, and I try to use other groups as an example, not to put them on a pedestal, but let me give this example. First, I'll shout out to SKC. He did ask a question, real quick to SKC's question. Yeah, I do believe a lot of black men are conservative, and that encourages me. I think a lot of black men, especially because of social media, the manosphere, things like that, I think a lot of black men are considering conservatism. I like that. But as far as the other communities, I don't believe in putting them on a pedestal. But let's take this example: Jewish people, right? If I'm a Jewish person and I want to start a business, I can go to other Jewish people to get a loan. Okay, you do not hear Jewish people, even though they are an extreme minority in this country. I think Jewish people are less than 10%, if that, right? So, but they hold lots of power. Now, do we need to hate on it? I've never understood that. Like, why hate on another group of people for doing what they're supposed to do? Jewish people empowered their own people. They did what they were supposed to do. There's nothing that they did that we can't do. In fact, black people have already done it. Again, I brought up Durham, North Carolina, Black Wall Street. We have the intelligence to do the same shit that these other groups are doing. I do not buy this low IQ shit. I joke about it, but in general, no. Do I believe black people are inferior intellectually? No. And the numbers and the facts bear that out. Because again, how are we able to, I mean, if black people understood the things that black people accomplished soon after slavery, the excuses would stop. The excuse, I mean, Madam C.J. Walker. I mean, are you fucking serious? These were people that, I mean, really close to slavery. But these people found a way to bust through it and gain success. There's opportunity in this country. And so, because other groups are able to find those opportunities and empower themselves, I don't believe in hating on them. So, I don't know what he means by pocket watching, but I do take note of what other groups do. And I want black people to apply those same things. I want black people to do those same things. I want black people to be just as self sufficient as the Jewish community is. And I don't see why we can't.
Got you, man. Got you, man. Shout out to Robert Nelson again. He says, "Stop it! I am from Pennsylvania. Black men are getting trades. When making these statements, you have to speak about it regionally and where you live." Shout out to Robert Nelson. He says that what are your thoughts on I do think that the manosphere, since we all coming from different places, that a lot of these arguments or disagreements happen because of where we're located at. You know, some dudes might be in the West Coast, and you're in the southeast section of the United States, man. I'm in I guess the mid Atlantic, I would call it. I don't know. What would you say about all of us being from different places in the manosphere?
I mean, that's relevant, but at the same time, if we're talking about the black community in general, the dysfunction is everywhere, man. I mean, if you want to talk about Pennsylvania, bro, let's talk about Philadelphia and all the dysfunction and slaughtering and shooting going on out there. So you're not about to tell me those young brothers out there gang banging in Philadelphia, tearing up the streets, are learning trades. No, they're not. They're out there gang banging, selling drugs, and tearing up the fucking community. You want to talk about the West Coast? Why do we have so many homeless black people out there in California? A lot of homeless black people, particularly black men out there in California. Well, how are they learning trades if they're homeless? You see what I'm saying? So I mean, I hear what guys are saying. I mean, where you're from is relevant, but when we're talking about this cultural dysfunction, this culture of failure, this culture of dependency, this culture of being dumb is cool and stuff. I see that bullshit everywhere. I see that ignorance every fucking where. So I mean, and it doesn't matter what region you're in, whatever inner city you go to, whatever poor inner city area you go to, yeah, you're gonna find some nice people, but you're also gonna find the same dysfunction. You're gonna find drugs, violence, single moms, broken homes, okay, despair, poverty. You're gonna find the same shit no matter what area you're in. Now the accents may be different. You may have some, may have some differences here or there, but the culture of failure, I believe, is nationwide.
That I definitely agree with, man. I definitely agree that this culture of dysfunction is worldwide, man. And this is why it's very key. You mentioned being a avid supporter of the two Second Amendment right, and a lot of these inner cities. I'm not sure about the main cities like Atlanta and you know I think Alabama, Montgomery, or Little Rock, if they have the Second Amendment gun rights to protect themselves. The up north places really don't. Like Philadelphia, you mentioned. I don't know how big it is in Philadelphia, but it doesn't have the same statewide rights as Pennsylvania does. New York is difficult to get a gun, and these are crime-ridden areas. Do you think that some people have to start looking into that? I think Master Ray is. I don't know if you know. I think you do know Master Ray. He
Yeah, I know
talked
who he
about
is.
getting people trained and arming themselves and protecting their homes. Do you think that's something that for the inner cities and that dysfunction that is needed?
I talked about the nigga mind in my first tribute to Brother David Carroll in my first rabbit hole upload. The nigga mind is a problem. I don't care if you send $500 trillion to a bunch of nigga minded black people. You're going to come out with nigga minded results. If you put guns into the hands of a bunch of nigga minded, culture of failure adhering black people, adherence to the culture of failure, you're going to get dysfunction and nigga shit. So you can train these niggas all you want. All you're doing is you're just teaching them how to shoot each other more effectively. That's all the fuck you're doing. So I hear Monster Ray's point, but we've got the number one step one, and I challenge anybody to challenge me on this shit. Step one for fixing black people in America: the nigga mind, the nigga culture, the culture of failure has to be addressed before any fucking thing else. Whether it's finances, whether it's education, you can send a bunch of nigga-minded people to the nicest school, Cool Kamasi. What's gonna happen? It's gonna be bullshit within the first fucking year. You're gonna have fights, shootouts, graffiti, trash all over, single moms. I mean, you know it's true. So come on, man. Like, we got to change this
Hey,
culture first.
that's a good point, man. And with that answer, man, let's go into SKC's question real quick. He asked you, TVA, in your opinion, what are the biggest problems that black men face, and are those problems different from what black women face?
No, I think we both face the same problems. The nigga mind, the nigga call. I'm so serious. I acknowledge racism. People keep trying to put me in the hotep category. I'm not one of these blame white people or everything. I'm not. I'm not saying racism is to blame for black dysfunction. I do not believe that. Okay, but I'm going to call it out. Okay, I'm going to call out how it's still prevalent in the society. How you still have hiring discrimination. Now that's not stopping black people from learning trades and opening their own businesses. Okay, and you have plenty of white people hiring black people all over the place. Okay, obviously, right? So, but I do point out the racism, when it happens, because again, it is a problem because we're all citizens of this country. We've all contributed. So I'm not going to stand for black people being treated like second class citizens in any way. But like I said, in regards to the problems that we face as black men and black women, the number one problem that we face is the nigga mind. The number one problem that we face as a race is this culture of fucking failure. Okay? Period. Not racism, not white people, not poverty. Okay? Nothing. It's the nigga mind. It's the culture. Once we fix that, everything falls into place.
Now, what in your opinion will make that happen?
Well, people laugh about it when I say that social media is a very powerful tool, but I need people to sit back and look at how effectively black people spread dysfunction with social media. Look at how effectively we spread nigga shit. Look at how effectively we spread stupid fucking shit. So wait a minute. We can spread all the dumb shit. We can spread the Lil Nas X shit. We can spread the alphabet culture. We can spread cancel culture. We can spread dumb shit among ourselves. The gender war shit, right? Light skin, dark skin, and all this dumb shit. We can spread that. But we can't spread anything positive. We can't spread the message of accountability. We can't spread the message of telling black people, look, no one's going to help you. No one gives a fuck about you if you don't care about yourself. You have to stop begging other groups to care more about you than you care about yourselves. That's fucking illogical and stupid. You're slaughtering each other in the streets, but you're telling other groups that your lives matter. You're aborting your babies at ridiculous rates. You're online actually talking about killing your babies, joking about it, but you're saying Black Lives Matter. It's confusing. And I understand why other groups are confused.
You dropping some good points, man. Definitely dropping some good points, man. Now, let me ask this question for Ragnarok, but let me fix it as well. Um, he asks, "Do you think black men can learn from white men?" And also, I'll add to his question: do you think that white men can also learn from black men as well?
Yeah, certain ones. I mean, I'm not gonna. That's one thing I don't do. I have to qualify white people before I just listen to them because you have a lot of. I qualify anyone really, but you have a lot of black people that think the white man's ice is colder. So if you just put a white face on it, they're gonna believe it. They're gonna think it's facts. They're gonna think it's the truth. And you know that's not the fact. That's not facts. So if it's a qualified white person, yeah, I can learn from a white person. Now, if you mean white people, white men in general, here's the lesson we can learn from white men in general. Even if you conquer the world for your women, they can still come out with a movement called feminism and piss all over it. So this notion that if black men go out here and we build and we got to go out here and build stuff and that'll get the black woman to fall in line, that's bullshit. Look at the white man and look at the white woman. The white woman is out here. She started feminism. She started this whole abortion that we talk about feminism. White women started feminism. I ain't trying to hear Jewish women. No. White women started feminism. Okay. And what was she complaining about? What the fuck was she? What was she complaining about the bad treatment from white men? I mean, yeah, white guys were kind of shitty to him, but again, I mean, hey, white men went out there and conquered the world. Certain ones, anyway. Certain ones went out there and conquered the world. And you would think white women would have respect for her white man, but she doesn't. She doesn't give a fuck. In fact, the white woman is out there killing her babies too. The white woman was out there fighting for the right to kill her babies before anything else. Black women weren't out there fighting for abortion rights. Those were white women doing that. So that's the lesson we can learn from white men is that whole building something to get women to submit, that's bullshit. Now, what can white men learn from black men? Um, we're the canary in the coal mine. We were the first MGTOW. I mean, everyone know. Well, only everyone knows, but if you look closely, you'll acknowledge that everything happens to us first. Okay, for the most part. Okay, that's what black men. We're looking at these white guys talking about MGTOW going their own way and all this. We've been doing that. We've been sick and tired. We've been dealing with the disrespect. Okay, so I mean, it's white men can learn from black men how to deal with what they're dealing with now. This problem of being marginalized for being a male because we've been dealing with that, having their masculinity under attack. We've had black masculinity has always been considered a threat in this country by white men too, might I add. So yeah, we can learn a lot from each other.
Got you, man. Got you, man. I do think that as well that we definitely can learn from each other. Even if I disagree with you, I'm learning something. So that's how I am. Would you like to take some? Would you like some people on the panel to hop on the panel? Maybe
Yeah,
ask
sure, they
you.
can hop up. Yeah, they can hop up. I
All
got
right,
a
no
little more
problem.
time. They can hop up.
No problem. We'll do that real quick. I know we don't got him for that long, but let's put this in a. Let me know if you guys want to hop on the panel. I appreciate everybody coming in. It's a career high right now. Panel people, some new people, some familiar faces, man. So shout out all y'all, man. Also want to shout out my man A Truism on the Cash App. I appreciate that, man. That's the homie right there. Um, you know, Now let me ask you something real quick, man. Before we go on. You had a crazy year this year, man. You went on and you had the Tommy Sotomayor interview. You've been on different panels, conversating with different people, man. What do you think of your year so far, 2022, man? Because I mean, my first time seeing you was on Fantastic's panel, and now your name is one of the more recognizable names in the manosphere. Right?
I gotta find my stride, man. I'm kind of all over the place right now with my message, what I'm putting on my channel. I'm doing comedy stuff. I'm talking about finances. Sometimes I'm talking about relationships. Sometimes I'm talking about racial stuff. So I gotta kind of find my stride. I'm still trying to find my stride when it comes to YouTube. I'm still prepared every day for this channel to be uh, canceled. I mean, I'm just waiting on it for it to be shut down. But until that happens, I'm gonna ride it on out, man. And like I said, man, I believe that if black people can get out here, we can spread all this nigga shit and this nigga dysfunction among ourselves with social media. I don't see the problem with us trying to use social media to spread some goddamn facts, some goddamn common sense, and some fucking some solid beliefs, uh, some solid ideas, some solid conversations about solutions. Again, we can talk about twerking, we can talk about all the nigga shit we want on Black Twitter. Why can't we fucking have these same broad discussions on social media about local elections? Especially since Black people want to talk about all this uh, all this maltreatment that we deal with under this system, you would think black people would spend more time on social media talking about how to counter the problems that we deal with in this system. So that's really I'm just trying to find my stride really on my channel. But I appreciate everybody's support, man. I've been getting a lot of love, get a lot of hate too, man. But that was expected. I knew that when I came in because I like to be fair and balanced, man. Like Fox News. Shout out to David Carroll. I'll just put it like that. I like to try to be fair and balanced. I like to call out both sides. Black people have a problem with me. They say I'm an Uncle Tom. Shout out to SKC. I've been called a coon plenty of times, brother. And shout out to the ones calling me a hotep. Niggas can't make their mind up. And it's funny to me. I need niggas to make their mind up. Am I a hotep or am I a coon? Which one is it?
Hey, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, we see here. SKC got a question. I'll pull it up for everybody to see as well. What is one piece of advice the 2022 TVA would give to the 2017 version of TVA?
2017, buy Bitcoin and marry that Iraqi chick. That's the advice I would give myself.
All right. Now, would you consider yourself an unofficial member of the SYSBM movement?
No, because I don't believe I could ever fully separate myself from my people. I can't. I could never just throw my race away. I could never just throw my people away. I'm very disappointed in my people, and I use, harsh language in order to convey that disappointment, just like Brother David Carroll does, and a lot of other brothers do. But I think there's a lot of love behind the words of a lot of these brothers that criticize black people. And I do the same, and I do it out of love. I love my people, and I want us to do better. But at the same time, I salute the SYSBM guys. I support them, and I understand why they feel the way that they feel, and I can't even hate them for it. Here's my issue, though: if you're going to separate yourself from the black race, then do it. But I don't understand how people are SYSBM, but then you're constantly talking about black people. It's like these guys are SYSBM and then they're married to or in relationships with women of other races. So it's like you don't live around black people. You've disowned the black community and you've married out. The community tie is not your fucking problem. Why the fuck? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, what's the point? It's like now it just seems like certain guys within SYSBM, it's like not only have they detached themselves from the black community, they've gone the divestor route. Now it's time to stand from the outside looking in and throw rocks at black people and shit on black people. You can't just go your own separate ways. You got to leave and then come back and try to attack black people. And that's my problem with some of the SYSBM guys. But in general, I have a lot of respect for them, and I salute them and I support them.
Now, have you heard from the divestors? Would you say they are the same way? Because, a lot of people now saying that divestors and SYSBM are like, it's like Bizarro World meets Superman.
No, I don't hear that. I don't hear any SYSBM brothers talking about killing off black women. I don't see any SYSBM guys huddled up on Clubhouse talking about how they're going to use law enforcement to have black women killed. If you see a black woman walking down the street, call the cops and say you see her with a gun to see if she can we can get her shot. I don't see black men in SYSBM talking that nonsense. These divestors are fucking sick. These women will have black sons in their homes. Shout out to women like Crystal Swirls doing hours long streams talking about how much they hate black men. And you got a black son in that house that hears every word that you're saying. I don't see SYSBM guys doing shit like that. So no, I can't put them on the same page at all. I think these are mostly brothers that just they've given up. They're just tired. They see they see the situation as hopeless, and they just want happiness for themselves, man. And I get it. They don't see the point in just destroying themselves to fight for a community that basically they don't see. They don't see is able to be saved. They don't see the black community, the black race is it's possible to be saved, and I can understand why they feel that way, man. It does seem like a hopeless situation. I can get it, but I got to stay in the trenches, man. I can't do it. And sometimes I'm tempted, man. I'm very tempted sometimes. That's why I understand where they come from. But the real me just comes out, man, and I can't do it, bro. I can't do it. I can't just completely abandon my people.
I feel you, man. But what if that you're in Georgia, everything is thick down there. You see that thick, beautiful blonde hair, Karen, and she wants you to move to Wyoming. Would you do it?
Well, I mean, that's the thing, dude. Like, I date interracially. Like I said, in 2017, I was dating an Iraqi chick. Beautiful chick, man. She was thick. She
Talk
was
your
pretty, man.
shit.
You know
Talk
what I
your
mean?
shit.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not against dating out, man. But it's about I think a black man can date out and still be pro-black. I know that sounds funny to some people, but it's possible. Okay, because I believe that when a man deals with a woman, if he's a real man, she gets on his page. She gets on his program. That's why you see a lot of times when these white women are dealing with black men, they'll be on some Umar Johnson, Hotep, wearing African hairstyles and shit. And it may look silly, but a lot of time, and that's also why you see these black women that deal with white guys. A lot of them are on this divester, I hate black men shit. Women tend to adopt the mentality of the men that they're dealing with. So, me dealing with other races of women, I've never had that problem. I tell them out of the gate, I'm a black man. I love my people. I support my community, and I've dealt with black women. I don't discriminate. I like beautiful women in general. So I guess that's one thing about me that I have in common with the SYSBM guys. Hey, I love beautiful women, white, black, Asian, Hispanic. I don't give a shit.
All right, we got Ragnarok in the building, straight out of Canada. I think East Canada, right? East Canada. Are you in East Canada, Ragnar?
Yes, I am.
All right, what's up, man? What you want to ask TVA, man? He's right here.
Oh, just ask him some questions about some of the things you said today, other topics like that's come up today. Um, can I ask you? So it's like a one, two, three question, because it's all relative. So first, why?
Can you speak up a bit, Ragnarok? Can you stop
Yeah,
talking like
sorry.
your song? Stop talking like you're in the basement dismembering a
Uh,
body and there's people upstairs.
yeah, well, I am the white devil. Got to lean into it. No, the mic was
Absolutely.
the mic was away. So,
Oh, okay.
you can hear me better now.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
All right. So I have a question pertaining to something you said. So you said you believe in segregation. So that's question one. So it's three questions, but they all tie in together, right? So why do you believe in segregation? One, two. Um, I'm sure you realize the repercussions of there's black men with white women, there's black women with white men, or even other races. Like if there's like the interracial couplings that have occurred. How do you think that's going to be affected if it happens? And three, like, do you think it would actually benefit?
Well, as far as segregation is concerned, I'm talking. Well, for one, America's already very segregated. Let's stop kidding ourselves. I mean, yeah, you've got some integration, but America is still largely segregated in many ways. A lot of communities are still racially segregated. education, especially at the lower levels. A lot of it is still segregated. You got especially with these, I believe they call them IEPs, where you basically got black children being funneled into these special education programs. So there's still lots of segregation going on. It's not necessarily legal segregation like it was in the past. But when I talk about segregation, I'm talking about black people having our own banks. Okay, black people need to establish our own corporation so we can hire ourselves, not so we can necessarily be separate from white people, but so that we can be self sufficient. Okay, so we can stop whining about shit like black women dying more in the maternity ward because of racism. Okay, well, goddamn it, let's build our own fucking hospitals. It's possible, right? Let's build our own fucking schools. If you're tired of being discriminated against in your schools, you're tired of your black hairstyles being made fun of in these schools. Okay, let's build our own fucking schools.
So
Okay,
if I
you're
may,
tired of the. Go ahead. Go ahead.
so here in Canada, you know how the French and English hate each other to the bone. So I'm actually mixed both. Um, the French here, their language was banned. They didn't have their own hospitals. Their schools were going to be banned, and they fought for it successfully. They upkept these institutions that were primarily French. In fact, they even got the country of Canada to make it a bilingual nation, French and English, not just be English dominant. So I can understand the concept of wanting your own ethnic type thing. It's like, not all whites are together. Trust me, the French and English here. Ooh. Back in the 80s, the French and the English would kill each other on the streets with chains, bats, you name it. Like it was like the 100 Years' War all over again. So I understand that angle, but today, so that was like 50 to 30 years ago. Today, it's fairly integrated. Like me, I can speak French fluently, but you would never know. You don't catch an accent, right? Je parle français. So a lot of the integrations happened over time due to compromises on both sides, right? So I understand your aspect of wanting those own things for your people. I get that. I do. I gotta say that.
Okay. I appreciate that. And the as far as integration between the French and the English, the French citizens were coming from a position of power. Okay, when the integration started, what I mean by that is they
No,
had their
no, no,
own
no.
shit.
That they weren't coming from a position of power at all.
Well, you said they established their own institute.
The English were banning French. Like literally, French school teachers had to fight off redcoats because they were coming in to ban the teaching of French. They were trying to Anglicanize, Englishify the French. You know what I'm saying? Because they conquered us in the 7 Years' War, bro. Like, they straight exterminated a lot of French, set them on slave boats. Where do you think Cajuns come from? It's why we're called frog people. We were segregated to the slums of swamps. hmm That's why
Okay.
we're called frogs. That's why it's an insult to call a French person a frog. Like literally, the French. If you come to French Canada in the East, if you call a Frenchman a frog, it's like saying the N word and you're not black to some emotional people. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. I'll keep that in
Yeah,
mind.
yeah. So yeah, if you ever
Hey,
come to Quebec, do not call someone a frog.
I'll keep that in mind.
hey,
Okay.
hey, hey, Ragnarok, hold your thought real quick. Let me get this question to TVA real quick. This comes again from SKC. Shout out to SKC. TVA, would you count hypersexualization as an aspect of the nigger mind, considering the low percentage of two-parent black families? Your thoughts, TVA. And Ragnarok.
Yes. Yes. There's that's a part of it. The hypersexualization, the reckless reproductive culture, the reckless reproductive behavior that we exhibit in the black community. Even though I'm not part of that, I don't engage in that. Reckless reproductive behavior. I'm not out here getting kids all over the place. I'm responsible with my shit. But yeah, that is a problem with this cultural failure. It is a problem. Hypersexualization, twerking all over the place. I mean, you see it. I'm so sick and well, let me not say that because I like seeing the twerking, but I'm tired of fucking seeing it. Like, goddamn, like, can y'all do anything else? Other than every time I turn around, it's all TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, it's booty out, booty, 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 booty. It's like, black women, do you have anything else to bring to the table? And if not, then stop whining about people seeing you as a sex object, because that's how you're presenting yourselves as black women. As David Carroll would say, many black women these days are the modern day Hottentot Venus. I'm done with
Ragnarok,
bragging
man.
about women.
Ragnarok, you in Canada, man. Do you agree with TVA says coming from Canada?
On what regards?
The hypersexualization
Yeah. Oh yeah.
of
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. That shit's happening
Okay.
here too.
Oh, got you. I appreciate that, man.
It's
Shout out
pretty
to
bad.
BMT in the bit. Oh yeah, go ahead. You got it. We got it. Let it go.
It's pretty bad. Being like even being French circles, English circles, and immigrant circles my whole life. Yeah, it's everywhere. It's a trend. It keeps going. It doesn't stop. Doesn't matter what race you are. Here, it's that hypersexualization is happening on a grand scale. So like that's the thing about America and Canada. The cultural influence America has over Canada is way more vast than people might think. It's not as bad, but yeah, there is a vast cultural influence.
No, don't blame America for the dysfunction in Canada.
I'm not blaming. I am saying America does inspire cultural elements in Canada. Like twerking, that was not from Canada.
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't that porn star that set the record for having sex with the most guys in a sex scene? Wasn't she Canadian?
Actually, so Montreal is known as what the porn capital of Canada, kind of like LA is the porn capital of America. So, yeah. Yeah, there's quite so yeah, if you're trying to say there's just like debauchery here, but like my point is like there's certain things that come out of America first that do influence here. That's a definite. Like you guys, so like a lot of Americans don't realize this. You guys have more cultural influence over the entire Western world than you can imagine. When politics flow one way or another, it affects the entire Western world. It's the American empire, bro.
I agree with that. Culturally, yeah, I agree with that. That's pretty obvious. Yeah, I agree with that.
And like every time somebody wants more freedoms, like you know how the lefties in America hate the American flag. The thing is, when countries face tyranny, do you know what flag they're waving because they're pro freedom? The American flag.
That's facts. That's true. What's up, BMT? How you doing, big dog?
Yeah, BMT in the building, man. BMT, he had a good podcast the other day, man. I wanted to talk to him one day about black superheroes, man, or black people in media and their perception, man. I know you mentioned the dresses earlier, TVA. But do you think that's more widespread across all races of men? Because you see the movie Mrs. Doubtfire, that was a white gentleman. Um, you're seeing how they kind of feminize Latino men over the years. But is it mainly just black men, or is it all men in your opinion in terms of
It's
feminization?
it's it's all men dealing with that. Yeah, it's all men. That's all, man. I mean, you got your Billy Porters, and then you got that dude in the White House, one of Biden's advisors, or some. Yeah. So I mean, you got you got it all. You got it all around, man. I agree with that. It's
Yeah, it's
all
just
men.
wow.
One thing I will say is the
Yeah.
black community, as some would call it,
Mm-hmm.
do give the strongest pushback against that. They really do. Like you may see that pushback in every single community of men, but you actually see it more strongly and fervently amongst black men.
That is true, man. That's true. That is true. Um, what are your thoughts? You mentioned Candace Owens. What are your thoughts on guys like Jesse Lee Peterson, Brandon Tatum, the Hodge twins, and Anthony Brian Logan?
These are people that my definition of a coon is someone that seeks to profit, a black person that seeks to profit off of black dysfunction, and particularly by broadcasting it to other groups of people. Okay, this is basically it's my basic definition of a coon. So these are basically grifters. They don't actually care about finding solutions to these problems in the black community that they're constantly complaining about. It's just all about doing streams, shitting on black people, trying to get as many white people in the chat box as possible, trying to get their numbers up, trying to get the money. I mean, you'll have these guys speak some truth. They will have nuggets of truth in what they're saying. But I'm looking at your intentions. Okay, Jesse Lee Peterson is wearing he's doing skits basically talking about he's proud of being a slave or some shit. I can't remember, but he did some kind of skit. He put on some kind of uniform or something like that. I think he was dressed up as a slave or some shit. I mean, that's ridiculous. You know, Candace Owens is out here. She's justifying every police shooting in the book, every single fucking police shooting. She tried to justify the Walter Scott shooting. I'm sorry, guy's running away, shot him in the back, and then clearly on video they planted a taser on the guy, and then later on lied in the police report. See, it's situations like this to where you can't have black people. You can't try to tell black people that we need to vote conservative, but then you're justifying shit like that, and then you wonder why black people are not attracted to the conservative side. At least the white liberal has the sense to pretend to care about black people, and that's why they've been so successful.
If I may, I'd like to comment on that. So you're kind of like in the negative towards these people. I'm actually more positive towards them. So saying like, oh, they air the dirty laundry, as you would say, right? Of the black community, no, the black community is doing that on its own. But let's be real, the whole world sees it. It's not. It's all over the internet, like World Star. You know what I'm saying? Candace actually has tried to purport solutions, and people dunk on her because she is seen as a lame coon to her own community of people. She is also disgusted on and biled on for having being with a white man. And like Jesse Lee Peterson, his brand of humor is to the point where like it's not like you can't understand it. Like I saw that skit you're talking about. See, he the context he brought that up in is because he sees Africa as it is with all the civil wars and the crap going on over there. He's like it's a sly joke saying like he's glad he ended up here in the end. You know what I'm saying? And these people are actually attractive to a lot of black conservatives. I've seen it. Like in a lot of angles, white conservatives, black conservatives work together. Sure, we can't work together on everything, but these individuals are actually not grifting for white people. White people like what they're saying, but there's quite a few black people who do like what they're saying because they're not on the plantation. And yeah, you could say they're propped up media talking heads. You could accuse them of that. But when I saw Candace question and criticize Trump on some issues, like, everybody needs to be jabbed, Trump was for that. Candace was not. And she actually got lambasted quite a bit. So that's one thing I like about Candace. She's not afraid to critique her own conservative side, and that's actually good. Having cult-like thinking where we all need to think the same doesn't work.
Where's the white equivalent of a Candace Owens? Where are the white people like Jesse Lee Peterson that just broadcast white because you can go to World Star Hip Hop and see it's not just black people in World Star Hip Hop. You can go to Instagram, Facebook. So where are the white equivalents to a Jesse Lee Peterson who basically your Brandon Tatums who basically have whole careers on social media airing out white dysfunction for everyone to see? And on top of that, their audience is mostly non-white people. That's my main issue with people like Jesse Lee Peterson. If you look at his audience, people like Trey MBD, if you look at these people's audience, this is how I know they're grifting. Because how the fuck are you talking about black dysfunction and you're looking for solutions, but your audience is white people? That makes no sense.
So I don't think they're looking for solutions. And the first answer to your question is the reason you don't see people making careers off white dysfunction is because the majority of the white community shuns and shames people who do that. They do not glorify it. And I know you know this is a problem in the black community. It is glorified. A lot of this thug life shit. Like, how many 15-year-old young black youth are influenced to join a gang over a barrage of rap songs 24/7, 7 days a week,
No. White,
365?
white people have a history of glorifying their gangsters and violent criminals. Look at
Yeah,
the Goodfellas.
yeah, but they're considered white
Look at the
trash.
Goodfellas. Look at all the mafia movies and shit like that. See, white criminals, white gangsters, white violence, they it gets glorified. So we glorify Al Capone and John Gotti, right? We glorify these guys, even though they slaughtered lots of people. John Dillinger, okay, right?
I'm aware
Even
there
today,
is white
even
gangs,
today,
but like the
these
majority of the
motorcycle
people
clubs get
do
glorified.
not promote that. They do not. Yes, it's in movies, it's romanticized. But have you noticed the white community reacts differently to romanticized gang culture as compared? Like, you literally got people in the black community, and pardon me for saying this, they'll go play GTA, listen to hardcore gangster rap where they're doing grape, murder, the worst kinds of stuff. Go around to school, see his buddy selling weed, and he's like, oh, I want a piece of that. Starts getting into it. That's really, like, it's not a gateway drug, but trust me, most people get in the game at the age of 14, 15, okay? So, that, like, I've seen it, okay? Yes, when I was white and I was younger, I kind of put my toes, okay? Yeah, you're right. It is a bit glorified in white circles, you could say,
I wouldn't say
but
I wouldn't
it's
say a
not
bit. I
the
wouldn't say a bit
norm.
glorified. I wouldn't say a bit. The Goodfellas, the Godfather series was a very successful series among the white community.
But most Italians won't try to be like that, bro. That's the difference.
Eh, it's still glorified, but I get your point. I get your point,
Yeah,
but
it's
you know,
glorified. Look, it's so it's like different cultures of people reacting to a glorification of their own criminality in their own cultures, right? People react differently. It's like whites, they're like, if you're not trying to be traditional, work hard, especially blue collar people, bro. Like, they're the majority of white people. They're not for getting into that. They're too busy trying to get the bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you want to know who dominates the trades industry? It's majority white with a lot of Latino getting in right now. And you're right, black dudes are getting in as well. They're nowhere near the majority in there. There's sure shit a lot of space for them though. So, like,
Hey,
if you have, if you have a hard culture, a hard working culture, the glorification of gangs is not going to be normalized.
got you. Hey, let me
See,
ask this
listen,
question, TVA, real quick, and this from A Truism, Words of a Stormcrow. Shout out to him. He says, "Do you ever consider that whites are anti-nigga, not anti-black?"
well, the whites that consider themselves anti-nigga, they don't compartmentalize. Okay, I know a lot of black people think that they do, but being raised in the suburbs, I understand that when a white person has a certain racial bias towards black people, he will tolerate certain ones because they regurgitate talking points that he likes to hear. But in general, I'll ask these people like Trey and BD, for instance, let's see what happens when you come home with his daughter. Let's see what happens when little Susie brings home Trey and BD to meet the parents. Okay, I'll believe all the racial inclusion and white people don't care about race and all that shit after I see that. Let me see that, okay? Because I guarantee you, those Proud Boys, they don't want to see your black ass coming home with their daughter. And I don't even have a problem with it. I don't think it's racist necessarily to want your daughter to be with a white guy or a black man for want his daughter to be with a black man. Not racist, okay? But why are you saying that? Why are you saying that? Are you saying that because you just want babies that look like you? Or are you saying that because you believe this other race of people is inferior to you somehow? You see what I'm saying? Like, what's motivating it? And that's my question. So, yeah, as far as black people being anti-nigga versus anti-black, we can make that distinction. We can do that. But these whites out here talking about they're anti-nigga, most of them just they have a flat overall negative view of black people in general, and they hide behind no, it's just these black people over here. Bullshit.
I beg to differ. I really do.
Well, I mean
Be,
that's cool.
look. If you think whites who are just, trying to go about their daily life, get the bread for their family, don't judge whites who are wiggas. If you get my point, a wigga, I'm sure you've met something like that. Yeah, we do. It's class. Like what and it's not about your middle class, lower class. No, it's personal class. If you have class with other people, you won't be judged. Like, you know how people say, "Oh, I can't walk into a gas station while I'm wearing a hoodie," and I'm like, in my mind, knowing the stats, most people who are gonna rob a joint have their hoodie on. So that's just, it doesn't matter if you're white or black, bro. You're automatically gonna be criticized. Like if you're walking to a place looking thug, I don't care how white or how black you are, you will be judged. It's what it is.
I agree with that. I agree with that. You can't. You
So
can't.
so
As Dave Chappelle would say, you can't walk outside with an officer's uniform on and get mad when people mistake you for a police officer. So I agree with that. How you present yourself is very important. I agree with that.
of course.
Yeah, we got my man BMC in the building. But real quick, BMC, let me ask CVA this question from Trey. I think Trey's trying to come on too, but let me ask real quick. Ask TVA, would he care if the cops clapped a pook who just did a drive-by and killed a 3-year-old girl?
If it was during the act, yeah, he had it coming. However, we have what's called due process in this country, Trey. See, this is what separates me from you again, bro. I'm a real conservative. I stand by that Constitution, man. See, a lot of you conservatives, you like to talk this law and order shit, but then you want to talk about how it's okay for a cop to shoot somebody because they did heroin back in the day, or well, yeah, this guy was choked out by a cop, but well, he did a crime a few years ago, so fuck that guy. That's not how the fucking law works, bro. That's not how the Constitution works. And if you call yourself a so-called conservative, constitutional conservative patriot, and all this other shit, all these other words you niggas like to use, then where is it? Where am I seeing that from you? Because I'm seeing a whole lot of advocacy for government tyranny, and that's a problem for me.
Yeah. And BMT, my bad, man. Welcome to the show, man. Glad you're in here, man. Good to see you, man. What's going on, man?
What's going on, Kamasi? I got the message from the great X. I don't think we have to do a debate, but I think we can definitely do a conversation.
Oh yeah, no problem. Conversation, no doubt, no doubt.
Just let me know. I'll definitely put my email in there. You already know. You could just tap in and just say, "Hey, BNT, I want to talk about this."
Definitely.
Yeah. Guess we're talking about. Shout out to TVA. You're doing great work. I hope you can keep
What's
up.
going on, man?
Keep up the Philosopher's Stone of David Carroll, Ragnarok. It was good having a conversation with you. I definitely enjoyed talking with another historian. It was very good.
History's a passion, bro.
But it needs to be. Where we feel at with blacks is that of the praise and worship of being a nigga. Like that's literally a very dangerous game, because we allow the people who are not qualified to speak at a table. If you're just an entertainer or a jester or a criminal, you gave up. We're not trying to hear you speak on something of political advocacy, social integrity, or something that is actually of potent value. These are problems. No other race or group does that. Where they're like, hey, let's ask the singer what they think about geopolitical values. No, your job is just to stand on stage and dance. while the elected leaders talk. They're not really listening to the person. They're actually talking. And we mix that up too much. That's why we're looked at as the world's entertainers. And this is a big problem. As far as it goes, I don't think we can. It's getting harder to distinguish or dignify like that of the criminal element. Some things, like I'm getting tired of turning the other cheek and trying to rehabilitate everything. And I get it. It sounds pretty crucial, pretty bad. Um, but yeah, and I agree. Yes, I agree that yes, due process. Nobody should be above the law. However, the criminal element is not abiding by the law anymore. There should be no reason why a person with a statutory or sexual offense should be still walking free. But so long as they can sing nice songs and make everybody happy, we can turn a blind eye and say only God can judge them. No, we should just smite them. Um, we're having these issues. I don't worry too much. These things are becoming very dire, problematic. With the rates of unaccountability with family, abortion, this pump and dump logic and shit. These talking points of Negro currency. No care for that of generational wealth as well as the old or the young. These talking points are corroding away whatever there is left of societal values. Are other races doing it? Yes. However, um, right now we're perfecting the craft. We're perfecting the craft. True. That is true. We can look at other stuff like Jersey Shore and different other shit like that. But when Jersey Shore was being networked and produced, the Italians did not like that imagery. They were like, yo, take that shit off. I think it got canceled after so many seasons because they were like,
Yeah, same with that Honey Boo Boo shit. They didn't like that shit either.
right, because they were like, yo, this shit is dangerous. When certain things get black people, you got to learn when to tell motherfuckers no more housewives of Atlanta. You
That's
black women, you black women don't need to be doing that crazy shit
that's
because it's
also
making you.
another, if I may, it's another difference as well between the Italian community and the black community is that like I saw this in a movie once, like it's this guy, he's talking to this other dude who's acting tough, and this other dude comes from, the hardcore hood, and he's talking to him, he's like, look, bitch, I know a child who would shoot you for street cred in less than a minute. So that kind of mentality, I was like, whoa, is that real? And I've asked some brothers around, I was like, yeah, no, that's actually real in some places in America. And the Italian community has something called omerta, no talking. You don't glorify it, you're not supposed to. And even if they make movies about it, there's guys who get threats just for making movies about those guys, man. The only time some of those movies get okayed is if the actual people who were titled in it, who it's their story, are like, yeah, I want a movie about me. There's a big difference. Like,
That's where we feel at Ragnar. I'm getting tired of Negroes whenever they feel like they're getting back into the wall about talking points. You know what street I'm from? You know what city I'm from? Who gives a fuck? You don't own it. You didn't build it.
Right,
So
right.
why are you trying to put fear or intimidation by saying I'm from Chicago? Well, okay, so when you said that, you just agreed with that of the criminal element. You understand what I'm saying? You just try to impose that, oh, so you're saying that you're from Chicago. So you're actually agreeing there is a problem in Chicago. I'm from Florida. Okay, so you're telling me there is a criminal element. But you see, when you're trying to tell me what street or city you're from, you're trying to agree that yeah, I'm of that type of archetype of an element. You understand? And when we're seeing this shit happen, that's where that Pookieism starts kicking in. That's where that who gonna check me shit comes in. And I tell people this is why the Africans or other immigrants don't get too close to the Black Americans anymore. They don't even want to get close, or they don't want to breed with us. for that reason, because they're like, yo, like learn from their mistakes. Like you have opportunity, you choose not to take it.
You're right. These
God,
people are
there's
coming
no
off.
such thing. Let me finish this.
Yeah, my bad, my bad.
My granddaddy told me a story real quick. He said, did God carry the the Israelites out of Egypt, or did they have to walk out on their own? And even when they had to walk out on their own to the promised land, you got to understand everybody can't go. We have this problem as blacks that we believe everybody has to be rehabilitated and go. And this is the problem I'm having with a lot of blacks right now. Everybody's not meant to go. If the motherfucker has no problem shooting and killing innocent bystanders, you said fuck whatever system or community or whatever values. That's where, and I know it's dark. I hear what you're saying, TVA. If it was somebody who did cop for weed, somebody for parking tickets, something like that, true. But if you're a motherfucker that literally has done there's some egregious offenses you just can't come back from. Like you just shot and killed 3 people. Well, little Junie was a good kid. He gave up that innocence when he took those 3 innocent people. Little Tanya,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not talking about. I mean, real quick, I'm not talking about I'm not talking about those guys. And I'm not really talking about saving certain motherfuckers.
No, yeah,
ahead,
right. I'm not saying you are saying that, TVA, but you get what I'm saying, bro.
Okay.
Like some people, we got to skip past the process. Like I know certain, like the Filipino, like I have friends in the Philippines. There was a man that got caught fooling around with a young girl. Now we thought, that they were going to call the police here. No, it was 9 men went to his family hut with machetes, carried him out into the woods, and that was it. There was no more of him. There was no talk of him. There was no tears shed for him. You get what I'm saying? Like it was just done. And people could say, whoa, they should have took him to the police. No. Why? So he could try to think about doing it again? Like we're giving out too many goddamn chances. I'm not Jesus. I'm not a savior. I'm just more of a goddamn smiter. That's why I agree with the Punisher. Some people just got to just be given those kind of those smites.
As far as that's concerned, I mean, we can't. I hear what you're saying, but I mean, there's a practicality aspect to it too. I mean, we can't just go out and be vigilantes and chop people up with machetes. And I mean, I think it would be better to just, for one, speak on this stop snitching bullshit, which is bullshit because niggas stay self snitching on each other. They still self snitching on themselves. So I mean, showing your drugs on Instagram and your guns and all this kind of shit. So I mean, it's stop snitching culture needs to stop. We pay our taxes in this country. I don't see the problem with black people demanding the same service from law enforcement that everyone else gets. My issue is people on one hand talking about, well, people basically telling black people to shut the fuck up and not call the cops because we want to complain about police brutality. Well, since you want to complain about the cops, don't call the cops. Well, wait a minute. What? So we just shut the fuck up about the police if you want to call them? You can't criticize the cops if you want to be able to call them, even though you're a tax-paying citizen? Again, black people all up in the fucking military. Got black people over there in the NATO countries right now. Okay, black people over in fucking submarines, black people on aircraft carriers right now, black people serving in the Marine Corps, Navy SEALs, okay, Army Special Forces. So I'm not trying to hear black people, you can't call 911. No, fuck that shit. I'm gonna call 911. That's what black people need to start doing. Call 911 on these motherfuckers that are out here tearing up the communities. Now we also need more, progressive-minded black people within these law enforcement agencies, I believe, because I don't think some white guy from the suburbs policing in the inner cities is a good idea. What you think about that? I think, when I talk about segregation, Ragnarok, I'm talking about shit like that. Okay? I'm talking about shit like policing the inner city should not be some white dude from the suburbs job. He needs to be fucking policing white people in the suburbs. Not because he's bad or anything like that, but you can't fucking relate to these people. You're not accountable to these people. You don't know these people.
If I may,
hold fast, Ragnarok. Hold it fast. Great point, TV. Let me ask you the question on that. which you just said, SKC's question that I've been holding on to. It says SKC asks, in your opinion, TVA, can other races recognize the nigga mind and distinguish it from other productive black people?
I say yes.
Okay.
If they're
What
honest
about you,
with
TVA?
themselves, yeah. If they're honest
Okay.
with themselves, 'cause that's one of my main issues is these whites that have this racial bias towards blacks. You go to work every day and you work next to black people that aren't drug dealing, aren't bothering you. They may get on your nerves or something, but you got other coworkers that get on your fucking nerves. But this notion that black people are lazy and we don't want to work, you go to work every fucking day and you see other black people. I see black men at these goddamn truck stops all the time. Black men are out of here busting their asses in these goddamn trucks. So for motherfuckers to push this narrative that we're all on food stamps, we're lazy and we don't want to work, which is, you guys know, that's a stereotype that's spread about black people. Okay, that's one of these
Well,
stereotypes
that
that's spread about black
stereotype
people
is
by these whites that have a racial bias towards blacks. And those particular types of whites, they don't want to be honest with themselves and admit, like I said, every fucking day you see black people out there busting their ass. You go to your job every day, you see black people working. So why do you hold on to this bullshit stereotype? You see what I'm
so
saying?
here.
So
Let,
if they're
let me
honest, yes,
let
they
me
can.
explain this
SKC.
stereotype thing.
I'm going to
So
say, but go ahead.
so it's real quick, BMT.
Hey, Kamasi, I'll be back in like 10 minutes, brother. I got to drive to a truck stop. I'm low on fuel. I'll be back in like 10 minutes.
Okay,
Hey,
you
bro, do your
listening,
thing, man.
TVA?
Say what?
Okay, so TVA,
I'll be listening, but I can't stay on StreamYard and use my GPS at the same
Right, right.
time. But I'll be
Go
listening.
ahead. Go ahead, bro.
yeah.
I'll be
So
back. I'll be
like
back.
the reason you don't see the stereo, like, so the main reason people don't see the stereotype of the black man as a hard worker is because the entertainment industry, be it music or movies, is over representing the more dysfunction aspects of things. Like we talked about the romanticization. So yeah, no, people can see there's hard working black men. There's a lot of movies we see this. We see like men in, like, there's freaking military movies of black men, like good ones, like shit, Glory. That's one of my favorites. The point is like the majority of the entertainment coming out, because most stereotypes come from the TV and entertainment stuff like that. Like your stereotype of a trailer trash guy is, he's doing meth or something, but you never know. He might just be going to his construction job to feed his family. So it's like that, man. So things are skewed, perceptions are skewed, and the majority stereotype, which some people tend to glorify, is what people will see. So when people are stereotyping black people, yeah, you're gonna have your hardcore racist dudes. Of course you will. They exist. They're out there. Cool. But they're the minority. So like most people will have the understanding you should judge someone on their character. Like when you're interacting with them. Or how are they behaving, their class. So stereotypes, that's in the back of the mind, and of course it comes to the forefront every time you meet someone new. When you meet somebody who looks like comes from a trailer trash park, you're gonna think he's not well mannered, like, as someone white meeting this other white guy. But then this guy might have the best manners ever, and he's just trying to feed his family. So like the hard working stereotype is actually synonymous. It exists in all, like, black, white, Latino, Asian. Like Asians are hard workers, Latinos are hard workers, whites are hard workers. But out of every single, like, whatever race you want to call, the negative stereotypes always come to the forefront. Like we're literally programmed in our minds to see the negative before the positive. And that's it. We gotta fight that in an instinctual way.
I don't know. Like I said, I mean, I'm in the Bible Belt South. Like, I know some trailer parks, and like, it's Honey Boo Booville 10 toes down there. Like, and I mean, like, hey, man, you can call for them broken down cars to get pulled out of your yard, or you can make some attempt to, like, try to clean yourself up. I get it. You might have a southern slaw. You might have a certain accent. You may like walking barefoot into Walmart. I'm not going to judge you. Hell, I don't care if you got a Confederate flag on your damn truck. That's your business. That's your prerogative. But there's some things you can help. What's getting hard, and is why it's getting hard to tell the difference of blacks that of certain archetypes. Look, if you have a belt on, why are you busting a sag? It kills me. I don't know why you men are busting sags.
Bro, I've
So
seen white dudes do that.
And you know
It's
what? And I look
weird.
at them like trash. Like, you're trash. Why do I want to see your ass? I've told that to a guy right now. I said, "Are you a pedophile?" I told that to him right there in Dollar General. He said, "Wait, excuse me, what?" I said, "Dude, you got your pants down. There's kids walking around. Are you trying to sex? Are you trying to like seduce them or something?" "No, man, I don't get down like that." "Then pull up your pants, man. Let me know, man. Like, I'm
Bro,
not
I've
playing.
seen white
I,
dudes do that as well. I've seen
I
Latino
let them,
dudes do that. It's so weird.
and I openly, publicly shame them. Like, are you a sex offender? Why do you have your pants down around elderly women and men and children? Like, nobody wants to see your drawers. You got stains on them. I start humiliating you, and I'm all for public shaming, because if you want to make yourself look a certain type of imagery, if you want to look that archetype, then yes, you shall be judged by the fruit you are bearing. You are bearing a certain image for us to look at you. I get it. Hey, some people can't help it. There was like one kid, he only had 2 pair of pants when he was going to school. Sucks. I know it sucks, but that was something that he had to tolerate and deal with. Hopefully, he made better decisions. It's just that when you start getting to know better, you do better. That's no excuse. You don't have to walk around filthy and nasty. I know plenty of men that work in sanitation. You would never know, because when they clean themselves up pretty damn good. I did construction. I did roofing. When I got off, took off my t-shirt, washed my face, splashed water. Guess what? I went to the bar, because guess what? I wasn't going to go look like a fucking goddamn fool. And I wanted to look good when the women were in there. You don't want to smell like goddamn ass and goddamn shit. So it's just how you want to present yourself. The black population, that makes them. It kills me. Why are you carrying money on you in all these man purses? That shit looks retarded. It does. I don't need to carry my money. I make plenty of money. I never thought I need to carry stacks of money on me. Not to say I don't see other people doing it. Like, this is why I say social media is becoming the death of humanity and moral values, because literally the clout chasing is getting us killed. Now, even to where presidents and elected officials are putting more emphasis in everything that they do on Facebook and Twitter and social media, rather than just doing their fucking job. I believe when you're an elected official, you should be banned off of social media until your term is over. You should not be allowed on social media, because all you're going to do is just put out stupid shit.
Yeah,
But
so quick
that's
thing,
my.
Trey.
Can,
Quick
can I
thing,
can
Trey,
I
and
get in?
Go
I'll
ahead. Go
hand
ahead.
you
Go ahead.
I'll hand
I
you the
passed.
mic. I just
Mike,
want
I
to say
didn't mean to.
one quick thing, just before we segue too much. So there is one trade that you cannot shake the smell off, and it's being a butcher at a meat shop. That you can't shake that scent off sometimes, man. And it's a smell of death.
I mean, my like I said, like, one of the deacons was a butcher, and I get you, but because the temperatures are so cold, I mean, literally, I mean, like, it's not. I mean, unless you're there killing the cows, and I've killed a cow with an air gun, like, it's not. They're actually pretty clean. But literally, I mean, you got to be a sloppy butcher, and some of them guys pride themselves on a clean kill. So
Yeah.
you got
Yeah,
to suck at what you do. Like, I mean, I'm just a southern guy. I slayed hogs with a sledgehammer and killed cows and steers. So you being able to kill without getting blood on you. I mean, the most I can say you're gonna probably get blood on you is killing a deer and bleeding out a deer.
right.
Fuckers squirt everywhere. But
So
yeah,
yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
no, okay,
So
no, I
Trey
get you.
segues
I
too
do
much,
all
you
this.
know.
I do all this, man. I got you, Ragnar. I do all this, man. Go ahead, man.
Hey, man, what's up, man? Guys, we're back at it again. What up, Kamasi?
No, we're not, Trey. We're not back at it again.
No, man, we're just conversation, man. We just on here together.
What's
After
going
you
on, Trey?
left, man. After you left, me and Ragnarok, man, we had some fun, man. I dropped the act. I couldn't. Mrs. MBD was looking at me hard, and I couldn't keep the act up.
This dude was accused of being his own white premises and shit. He was messing around, right? Oh, it's
Hey,
crazy.
but hey, Ragnarok, man, I got to be honest though, man. It was a plan between me and Survival to get you riled up.
Oh, really?
Yo, Survival, man. He paid me off. He paid me off with a handshake.
That's very funny.
Yeah, but yeah, Kamasi, man, it was a great conversation, man. I heard TVA brought me up, and say I came up for a minute before I hit the rack. Just the one thing I heard him talking about before he comes back, and I heard BMT you mentioned this as well, and this is a difference between conservative, truly American, like hardcore conservative, fuck around, find out way of thinking. If and it goes to the question I posed to him. If policeman, I don't give a damn what color, is arresting Pook, who just killed a 3-year-old girl in a drive-by, I don't care if he makes the station or not. If he legit did it, like we saw you got that little girl's blood all over you, dirt in the ground for running, pants sagging, you right there on camera, and he doesn't make it to the police station, I don't care. And this is what you'll find amongst a large portion of the conservative movement out here who aren't down with ideology or not ideology, who aren't down with identity. Because as soon as you play the identity game, you start, you'll put a criminal first before just cosmic justice just because of his skin color. If a dude needs to leave this earth, that identity, say you a bunch of gay dudes, a gay log cabin conservatives, oh man, they about to kill one of ours. They about to kill Twan. You know what I'm saying? They about to put Twan on the electric chair. But he gay. He didn't know no better. Just think when he came up, they'll make every excuse in the world to save Twan, to keep Twan from riding the lightning, versus the fact that Twan if he committed a heinous crime. And any identity first conservative, you got to look at them sideways because they might choose that identity over just straight up morals, like straight
Right.
up like American values.
I completely agree, man. Like when he mentioned right before you came in the chat, so TVA identified himself as a black conservative, he's a conservative black nationalist. And then I chatted, look, if I said I was a conservative white nationalist, look, man, shit would go down. So there's a bias here. And the thing is, there's a bit yeah, sure, I love my European culture and history and whatnot, but I'm not gonna put that before policy and logic. Like policy and morals and stuff that's asinine. It's asinine to just apply race to policy. It really is.
Yeah.
My
Good.
thing about it, and I will say this: this is why I try to leave certain things out of. If it was a doctor, you wouldn't tell a doctor to only just mend or fix his own race. Then why are you a doctor? Does that make sense? Like you're a doctor. It shouldn't matter the race or the age or the gender. Your job is to save that life, regardless of who it is. You know.
They take an oath.
Yeah, it's the oath. So the oath comes before. And I know doctors like, hey man, like this guy shot somebody. I get that, but they're on my surgical table. I have to save them because that's my job. Like you will tell them. I know some medics, man. We done popped a few people and they're laying out on that ground. They will still try to save that person and just patch them up just enough. It's just one of those oaths. The same thing for law enforcement. I know some guys like, hey man, like that guy, he's a junkie. He sells to teenagers. I get it, but he's going into shock. I have to try to keep him alive. And I know some pretty good first responders that will do that. Like they don't care. They just see I just got to save a life. So I mean, I rode with these guys. I've done ride-alongs and stuff like that. I think the thing about it is when you put race before service, like this is why they always ask to be a service to Rome. In other words, your station is to put your country first. You put your empire first, and Rome was hardcore about that. And if Rome falls, then we all fall. If America falls, I don't give a damn who or what race is on that seat. We all are going down regardless. And This is a big issue. This is why I mean, I see these things happening, but I feel like the only way we can actually turn, or actually, it's like we have to hit a great cataclysmic change, so that way when all options are exhausted, it's kind of like when Rick killed Shane and said, okay, motherfuckers, you got nobody else to turn to. Y'all gonna have to start fucking listening to me. And if you don't like it, then you get the fuck out of the group. And guess what? Lori and Carl and everybody didn't like what Rick said, but guess what? Who took over the group after that? It was Rick. But he was like, fuck it, you don't got nobody else. All y'all options are exhausted. And see, that's just how it has to play out. Like, I'm just waiting for the worst case scenario to happen and then say, well, hey, I got the gun, the bullets, and the MREs. And if you come to me, I'm going to play God. And I'm not going to listen to what you have to say. You're going to just follow my rules. This is just, it is. And I know people don't like that. But see, there's a reason why certain rules are set up. You don't follow this rule, you get gangrene. You don't do this, you get pregnant and you get shunned. You don't do this and you impregnate that girl, we either kill you and then we have to take care of the baby. So we're going to trade a life for a life, or we do the shotgun wedding and you marry that woman and you're going to have to hold down and take care of that family. There were certain rules in place to keep society in check. When those rules started getting lax and complacent, we went down the shitter. And now it's kind of hard because we're in the septic tank now with the Ninja Turtle.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Did Trey want his own personal time? Because I noticed he only jumped his ass up when I left. So I mean, you
he came off you, bro.
May I say something just real quick before we segue too far? I want to just say something on what BMT said.
You got it.
It's really short. So I like military history. So I study the Iraq War, the Afghan War, stuff like that. I love military history. And when he talked about medics not caring if it's like the enemy or their friend, their fellow soldier, there's a story out of Iraq. Yes, the guy was white, but he's green. Like you said, the service matters. A sniper shot at him. He realized he didn't get hit. He then hunted down that sniper, shot him. But then what he did, he went up to the sniper, and because he was a medic, he fixed the guy who just tried to put a bullet in his head because of his oath. Like, he literally fixed him, and he's alive. Like, that actually happened. Like, this American medic who the sniper missed his head, and then he shot him. The Iraqi sniper, he went to the Iraqi sniper and literally fixed the wound he caused because of his doctor's oath. Like, that blew me away. I was like, wow. Like, that's not honor. I don't know what is.
Here's the thing about it. Like, a lot of people say like, and hear me when I say this, like, a lot of people say, well, this voice should be silent, that voice should be silent. I can't do that because I truly do believe in the right to freedom of speech. I fought for that, dude. I got bullets and stabs, gashes all over my body and everything.
You took an oath to protect it.
So regardless, even if I don't agree, and I've done butt heads with TVA, done butt heads with you, I've done butt heads with Trey, with a lot of people. Your voice still is a voice that, hey, I may not agree with at the time. It's still a voice, And who am I? But if I'm saying that your voice can be silenced, then it's only fair that my voice can be silenced also. And then when you start playing them games, you start playing dangerous. Start playing a dangerous playing field. And this is something that's happening, man. Like, this is something that's happening right now in society. But y'all guys got it.
So you have a Voltaire philosophy.
Aye.
His quote is, I may disagree with what you say, but I will fight to the death for you to say it. Voltaire.
Right. I don't have a problem. Like, because you had it where there was a Jew who was like, yo, like, I may not like what you're saying, but however, I know what it's like to be silenced. And once you get silent, trust me, they can come after you next, and they will get you. That's what I'm saying. Like, I get it. Like, people say, "Oh, that's hate speech." And I'm like, "Well, get ready, motherfucker," because to you it may be hate speech, but motherfucker, to the next person, hey, I'm telling you, man, hate speech changes like the goddamn flow of a goddamn ocean current in the Arctic, man. That shit is very turbulent, and you can't see it coming. It will turn on you in a heartbeat. So this is why I'm worried when we just start calling certain things off of feelings, certain things, because when you can call it that, then guess what? Who says that what you say isn't volatile or dangerous? And this is the times we're living in now. Anybody can call anybody the enemy and not be checked as to why. Go ahead, TVA or Trey. Y'all got it, man.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's facts. But anyway, man, Kamasi, like I said, I gotta just drove up to the truck stop. I gotta get fuel, so I'm gonna have to jump off in a little bit. But I appreciate you, man. I'm really honored that you did this interview, man. Hopefully, it cleared up things about my perspectives with y'all. I understand certain people just not like me, man. I get it, man. But hey,
I like you.
Hopefully people
I like you, man. You're cool.
Man,
I like you, TVA.
I try to be fair and balanced. You know what I mean? It's not about hate with other races. I'm cool with. I believe a white person can be pro-white and be a good person. Absolutely. The problem is when you're being pro-white is wearing a Klan uniform, talking about how my rights need to be infringed on.
Heck yeah, man.
The problem is when being pro-white is joining the police department and you're going to be a little Nazi behind a badge and you're just going to, oppress, abuse black people when you come across it. I have a problem with that. If you're pro-whiteness, if you're being pro-white means you're anti-black and you're going to infringe on my rights, then we have a problem. But if white people want to set up their own little I heard about this little village, and it pissed me off when I saw this shit, right?
Why?
There's some town, and it's an all-white town or something. They call it a Nazi village. Why? Because it's all white people. I mean, what?
They do that a lot. They do that a lot.
You got plenty of small towns where it's all black people. Okay, so I don't assume that just because white people want to be among white people or want to be with white people. Look, if I'm talking to a white chick and she's not into black guys, great. On to the next. I'm not going to call you racist. Okay, if I'm on Tinder and I see a chick talking about white guys only or something like that, whatever. On to the next. I'm not gonna send her messages on, trying to harass her and shit. Like, I don't have time for that bullshit, right? At the same time, understand what I'm saying. If you're being pro-white means you are infringing on me and my rights, and my people and my family. That's when we have a problem. I mean, it should be clear.
Hey, TVA, can I ask him a question, Ragnarok?
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, you've been here long.
TVA, bro. Where do you run into these white people at?
What kinds of white people?
The ones you just described, the ones that would infringe on others' rights.
I hear them on the CB a lot for one.
Oh yeah, they be saying all kinds of crazy on the TV.
Okay.
Radio. They are.
Oh, but what are they infringing on? I'm a trucker too, man. It's almost as bad as Call of Duty back in the day.
I don't have a problem with him having his views. The problem is when that person wants to run for office. Look, you can think how you want to think about black people, but I don't want you writing laws. I don't want you as police.
No. What do they have to do? Okay, so a bunch of truckers on a CB. What does that have to do with infringing on your rights or people running for office?
There are people that think like that, and they have actual authority and power to act on those racial biases. I don't give a fuck about them.
Where are they, bro?
Like I said, Trey, go argue with the federal government that did numerous reports about how there is a problem with white supremacist infiltration in the military and police departments. Go argue with the federal government.
Okay, bro. I don't have to argue about the military, man. I did it 21 years.
By the way, real quick, those reports came from the same FBI that you guys like to get your little racial crime statistics from. So I need you guys to make up your mind. Is the FBI credible or not? Is the FBI credible or not? That's all I'm asking.
I don't trust
So
any Fed,
I'm
bro.
just
I don't
oh
trust,
you don't
I don't
okay.
trust the
So then I
Fed.
need you guys to stop grabbing those crime statistics
That's
from the
okay,
FBI.
bro. I'm just
Let
curious,
me
yeah,
man.
finish
let's just
Why?
stay
mine though.
chill.
I'm curious, bro, about the whole. You love criminal. You love
I'm just
color.
saying
No, no
the
question,
same
bro.
the
But no,
same
okay, cool,
FBI,
cool,
the
cool,
same
cool.
FBI
TVA, it's cool.
that posts those crime
Yeah,
statistics
yeah, that's cool.
admits that there is a problem with racism.
Okay, okay,
So
cool. Yeah, that's fine, bro. That's fine. My thing is this now. You know, when I mentioned that question to you about, a 3-year-old girl getting killed by Pook, and that Pook, who would then get himself clapped by the police. At a certain point, man, cosmic justice kicks in, and you got to throw due process out the window. You said so yourself.
listen,
If you take that Pook to a
and this is why I
hold
call you
hold
a
up, bro.
fake ass conservative.
Bro, you just said it yourself. You said you agreed with BMT when BMT spoke about the guys with the machetes handling the rapist to that little girl. Now the same thing happens in the community, bro. Or what are you saying? Is it okay for those Indian
So where,
guys,
so okay,
but
so
not
where so
but
where does
not
it stop?
okay for American black pook?
Where does it stop? Where do we so we get to just go around killing folk that are just doing bad things or whatever?
Okay, you agreed
And I
with
hope
the
everyone
rapist.
heard him. I hope
Yeah,
all of you
yeah.
so-called conservatives heard Trey say we need to throw due process out of the window. This is your
Bro,
constitutional concern. This is
TVA.
the
I'm,
guy
I'm
that
asking
served
you
in
a
the
question, bro,
military.
about values, bro. So, here we go. Bro, you just agreed with BMT about handling that Indian guy who would rape a little girl. So why not handle the pook who just
No,
shot a
no,
3-year-old girl?
no. I didn't. I didn't agree. I didn't agree.
Okay,
I said I understand the sentiment,
okay,
but this vigilantism, no, this is not. No,
okay, cool.
that's not
All
how
right,
this.
we
That's not how
all
it
right,
works. Because dude,
we
my
disagree, bro. That's it.
justice
We
doesn't work.
disagree.
My
Cool. I got it.
justice doesn't work. There's a
Got it,
One at a
reason
bro.
why
time,
you have
guys.
due
One at a time.
process.
Got it, bro. I'm
You have
cool with
due
it. We
process.
disagree.
You
Cool.
have due process because you need evidence to prove guilt in due
Okay,
process.
bro.
This is what.
Okay.
But my
That's
justice
cool.
doesn't work, dude.
Cool. Got it, bro. We disagree on that, bro. If I
Wait. So
see,
Trey,
yeah.
every time a woman accuses a man, we need to gather up the mob and go kill him, right? Let's just always believe her.
Here's the thing,
Always
TVA.
believe her, Trey.
TVA, let me respond, bro. If a man walks in on his daughter being raped, walks in on that
That's
guy, yes.
self-defense. That's
No, no,
totally fucking different.
bro.
That's
Here's the
self-defense,
deal.
dude. He's
Now,
playing dumb.
okay,
He's
look,
playing
okay,
dumb.
bro. TVA, relax, bro. Now,
I'm like, bro, you're
if
playing
we
stupid again,
if
Trey. And
we
I
in a
don't have time for it,
neighborhood,
bro.
if we in a neighborhood see Pook run
I'm
up
not in the
and
mood
shoot,
for you playing
huh,
stupid, bro.
bro. If we're in a
If
TVA,
neighborhood,
they're
before
in
you
the
leave,
process of committing a crime, of
okay,
course it
then.
would be okay to take them out,
Okay,
bro.
so you don't mind that? Okay, boom, there we go. We agree on that, man.
That's
Thank you.
not illegal.
Hey, thank you, bro. Thank you. That's all I wanted to say, man.
You
so
don't,
Cool.
motherfucker. You
so
don't need due process to prove they did the crime if they're in the process of doing the crime. What
Okay,
the fuck?
so if Pook gets caught in the process, let's take him out. I'm with you. Let's do it.
No. That's different from, hey, Pookie just did something bad, and so
No,
a
if you
month
saw him
later,
do it,
a month
if you
later,
see
he
him
gets
do it,
shot by a cop,
why
so he
why wait a
deserves it.
month,
No.
bro? Why wait a month? I don't care. You
Okay,
care
well
when it
again,
happens. I don't care when
I'm
it
with the
happens.
Constitution. I'm with the
For
Constitution.
for me, bro, I preferred that it happened right then and
I
there.
prefer law and order, and I prefer the Constitution. I prefer due
Here's the
process.
thing.
That's what
Here's the thing. TV, it's cool, bro. Here's the thing. No arguments. You just said if we see him do it on the spot and there's a chance to take him out, take him out.
That's not vigilantism, sir. That's self-defense. If you walk in a room and your daughter is being
No, I'm
assaulted by
not
a
talking
man
about that,
and
bro.
you kill that
I'm saying
motherfucker,
this.
that's
No,
not
no,
vigilantism.
no, bro. I'm
That's
saying
defense.
if you're a good guy with a gun and you walk up on a playground scene where a 3-year-old girl just got shot by Pook and you got a chance to draw down on Pook, what you
What
gonna
Pookie
do?
did it? Which Pookie did it?
The one you watch just do it? What you gonna
yeah,
do?
like imagine you saw
No,
him just do it.
that's not your job.
Oh, okay, cool. I got
That's
Yeah,
it.
not
yeah.
your
I got
job.
it. Cool, bro. Okay, see, we
All
different,
right.
bro. Me, I'm putting bullets in that motherfucker, bro.
Okay,
That's it.
well, I mean, you do that, bro. You
So
do
so
that.
TVA, if I may, you mentioned something that actually struck me, like in not a bad way or anything. I'm just it made me think of something. So as you may know, I'm Norse pagan, correct? So Norse paganism, like believing in Odin, Thor, these ancient gods from pre-Christian Europe. Okay, so that white town you mentioned, that's 100% white, and they're being accused of being Nazis when they're not. They're just existing. See, this actually happens a lot with Norse pagans, even though they hate Nazis. the point is, you literally have these churches, like churches as a temple for paganism in this sense, Saint Germanic, Norse, some people call it the Viking religion, but the Viking is the act of going on a raid, like the only time you're actually being a Viking as a Norse pagan is if you're in the military and you're going to raid some dude somewhere. So, not the point. My point is, they had accused multiple pagan temples to operate like a church just for this religion, right? To be Nazis or racist. Oh, they have tattoos of runes and symbols like that. Yes, the Nazis did co-opt a lot of that shit, sadly. And they keep getting accused of this, but they're not. So it's like Judaism. You have to be Jewish to be Jew, right? With Norse paganism, you have to have Norse ancestry or Germanic ancestry. So there is an ancestral element to the faith. So every single time my peoples in this religion try to make a temple, they always get accused of being, oh, they're racist. They don't let any diversity in. It's like
Here's a question, Ragnarok, and this was my frustration with the black guy that I debated about the Confederate flag, right? Because he was very passionate about the flag and shit. But I said, hey man, why you get mad at me for acknowledging that there are whites that use that flag to symbolize their racism? Well, it's the same thing to you, Ragnarok. I understand your frustration.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. A lot of white people
just
face
acknowledged that the Nazis co-opted a lot of your symbolism, and they're still using it. Okay, so
Exactly.
why don't you get mad at the white? So why don't you have smoke for those fucking Nazis that are
we already trust me. Trust me, we already do.
What's wrong? What about the
you
brothers
have
that fought for the South? What about the brothers that fought for the South?
There is that. Like, hold up 1 second.
You mean so they could be free from slavery, Trey? You
Yeah,
honestly think those black people that fought for the Confederacy fought because they believed in the Confederacy?
Bro, it was their values. It was your people, bro. It was your people, bro.
Freedom.
It was your people. You're from Kennesaw, Georgia. That's your people.
And you tell me if I pick up a gun and go march with these white guys, you're gonna free me from fucking chattel slavery? I'll go ahead and do it. Sure.
What about the slavery in the North, bro?
You also had a lot of black men go AWOL from the Confederacy, by the way.
What about the ones in the North that were fighting?
What do you think? What do you think? I'm some Union lover.
I don't know, man. I don't know,
Hey, cool. Hey, cool. Can you hear me? I would like to know, just for a project.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever seen the movie A Time to Kill?
Time to Kill.
You're damn right I did, and I hope they burn in hell.
Now,
Yes.
I would like for all of us to, if we ever get a chance, I would like us to do a review and we can do a breakdown of A Time to Kill.
Okay.
TV, have you seen that movie also, A Time to Kill?
Yeah, I've seen that.
No, bro. I want us to seriously watch the movie, and then we can all give our synapses on.
That's the one with the Samuel Jackson and his daughter got hurt.
No, but it's based on a true. It's based on a true trial. So I want to know: is it a justification of that man follows through on the Constitution, or did he break it? Or
I would put that man on trial and find him not guilty for reason of insanity because he was clearly not thinking straight, given that his young daughter had been sexually assaulted by these two men who were openly bragging about doing it, by the way. Okay. Right. But I was still put him through a trial. Okay. I'm serious about the reason why I'm serious about due process is because we have these false allegations. I mean, we're all men here. Are we not privy to Me Too? Are we not privy to all of these men out here being falsely accused and then their whole careers and lives are ruined? You see, so that's why I'm a stickler on that due process shit because it requires evidence. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I get you guys' point. Like, if you're walking in on your daughter gets hurt and A Time to Kill, I get that. But again, I would put Samuel L. Jackson's character on trial and find him not guilty like he was.
So given on the whole evidence type topic, so remember how I brought up the Norse temples? We kind of entered a new topic. I just wanted to finish this one real quick. So accusing an ancient European religion that is coming back very quickly, just without evidence, just accusing. these
Ragnarok,
people
Ragnarok. You
just
need to
listen to
blame
me,
the
listen to me,
Nazis.
listen to me. We already do, okay? The
Okay,
point
so
is,
then,
there are people who simply just accuse them because it's a group of white people. Oh, you're all Nazis, you're all Nazis. Like, it's the defamation is real, okay?
okay, well, I don't agree with that. But again, if you're using symbolism that Nazis are still to this day using, I mean, you can't get mad at people thinking, okay, well, maybe you guys are affiliated. You need to get mad at those Nazis. They're the ones that are
No,
making you
I
guys
think
look bad.
they're ignorant and not understanding that these symbols over 8,000 years old. Okay, like you
Okay,
can't let
well,
some group of
the
people
average
who had
person,
20 years of power
the
to
average person
fuck
doesn't
that
know all
up.
that.
Well, they're
The average
retarded.
person just sees symbols and they just know that people that are Nazis use those symbols, and I see these people over here using the same symbols.
So
So
you
I'm going
complained about stereotypes, right? This is the same situation.
I understand that. Yeah, stereotypes are fucked up, but I mean, in this case, it's not really about stereotypes. It's about history. Motherfucker,
Yeah,
people that use those symbols have historically been very hateful, fucking, and violent people. I mean, it is what it is, and it's not our fault for acknowledging that shit. You got to get mad at the Nazi regime. You need to get mad at these far right
oh,
groups, these
trust me,
white supremacist
there's
organizations.
smoke. Trust me, there's smoke for them.
Okay, well
That's
then,
a given.
why? Okay, but then why are you frustrated at just
So
random everyday people
no, the
that
reason I'm
see two groups
frustrated
using those same
is,
symbols and think you're affiliated?
well, the reason I get frustrated is because these people are ignorant and do not understand. Okay, like I have people who laugh at me when I say I'm Norse pagan. It's like, haha, you worship a Marvel god. Marvel got its inspiration from that shit. Like the point is, a lot of people do not take the time to look into culture. They're so retarded. All they have is twerking and pop culture in their face. So when they see a group of white people praying in a way they don't understand, they're just going to automatically do that.
Well, I'm gonna throw this to you, Ragnarok, to end this point real quick. Okay. I think that also has a lot to do with religious bias because
Yeah.
let's take God of War for instance, right? Kratos, right? That video game series, great
Yeah,
video
that
game
it's
series, but
inspired. It's not.
why why
It's not accurate, but it's inspired.
why is it that you're only killing Norse gods? We all know that if they were to do a God of War where Prophet Muhammad was the end boss or Jesus Christ were the end, you see what I'm saying? So
Shit.
a lot of that has to do with religious bias. Well, I don't think it's
You
just
going
Because
racial.
down,
there's
man.
religious fanatics out here who would go
Tommy, you're
crazy.
going down.
Right,
So like
exactly.
so let me explain to you something about Norse pagans real quick.
Boy.
So you understand how some Muslims believe they only get paradise if they, do something in battle. You know what I mean? Like Norse pagans also believe you don't get to Valhalla unless you die in battle. But there's a rule. You do not go look for the battle. You know what I'm saying? Valhalla comes to you. Valhalla chooses you type concept. So that's the difference. It's very passive. So if somebody approaches me and threatens my life or my family, and be like, oh, Valhalla calling, but I'm not gonna go out in the streets and be like, where's Valhalla? Where's Valhalla? No,
Right,
that's the
right.
difference. I'm not gonna
Well,
go out looking for a
you
freaking
have
target.
people that use the symbols from your religion that do that kind of shit, bro. It started whole world wars. You see what I'm saying? So you can't get mad at the average person for saying, wait a minute, those guys use that symbol and this guy has that symbol on.
I
Okay,
wouldn't
he
say I
must
get
be affiliated
mad. I
with
get
those guys.
frustrated because they're ignorant.
Hey, let
Well,
me
yeah.
say something real quick though. TVA, have you heard the name Isaiah Metz?
Isaiah, what now?
Isaiah Metz.
No, I've never heard of that.
He was a gentleman from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And Trey, I brought a similar situation with you finding your daughter, getting sexually abused by a man. This man actually did it. He went to New York City, was supposed to get arrested there, bit a state trooper in the arm, and the other NYPD officer was trying to fight him. He fled from the scene and was caught in Yonkers, where he was rightfully arrested and read his due process. So, with that case, would you think that due process was needed because he has 115 counts or charges in York County, Pennsylvania?
So what happened? I mean, did he catch someone in the act? I mean, did he catch them in the act?
No,
What's
not
the
in the
point?
act. Not in the act.
Okay, well then I need due process, man, because that's where the reason. Look, there are other things to consider: mental illness. Were they high on drugs at the time? All of that shit is relevant, in my opinion. Due process is important, man. I'm gonna pick due process every time because I would rather take the time to prove that this person did. And again, the evidence would be all over it. I mean, if he saw it happen, or if he's so sure, then there should be evidence to prove it. Okay, well then let's have due process. All of
And
these
that's
instances, whether it's a dad walking in on his daughter getting assaulted or whatever, there would be evidence in that situation. Even if if he were not to act on it, there would be evidence in that situation. Now, I would agree. I wouldn't fault him for acting on it, but you guys see what I'm saying. The guy, Trey, talking about Pookie shooting a kid at the playground. Again, there would be evidence for that. Other witnesses, cameras, you as a witness. So it's like, I don't. You guys act
bro.
like if we do
Here's a
due
look,
process,
man.
people are gonna
Yes,
get away
no,
with it or
bro.
some shit. That's
Here's
not
look
how
at
it works.
and look here, man. I'll speak on this because at the beginning I was listening. There was a lot of speaking on, oh, we got to do better as black people. This "we are us" nonsense talk, basically of incorporating all black people into this monolith to include the black people, who are doing the right thing, the nuclear families, the people that want nothing to
Wait,
do with the
you're not even
dysfunction.
black. You're not
And
black though, right?
hold up, bro. And then you want to lump those people in with Pook and Keisha out on these streets, basically terrorizing whichever community they live in. And you say, a lot of these things about fixing this problem, I want it to get better. But in order to do that, and which is work for every single community to ever thrive on this freaking planet, is the lowest of the low are called out. The lowest of the low are not bred with. The lowest of the low,
Did you not
the
hear me say
lowest.
that the number
Look
one
here.
enemy of black people is the nigga mind? Did you not hear me say that?
The lowest of those, you do not care what
Did
happens
you
to
not
them.
hear me
You
say that
do
our
you do
biggest
not
problem
shed
is the
tears.
cultural
You do
failure?
not shed tears. And guess what? If what's needed to be is those people are removed, they are removed. I know Ragnarok, you spoke of that earlier when you're talking about the Ute people. They were
I could have
removed.
sworn. I could have
Guess what?
sworn that I said that the
They were
number one enemy
removed.
of black people is the
But you
nigga
don't want to
mind and
you don't want
failure
to
culture.
get rid of them. You don't want to get rid of them.
I
You have
could
a
have
soft
sworn I
spot in your heart
said
for them.
that I was a proponent of eugenics.
So why
I
do you
could have
care
sworn I
what?
said
So why do you care if daggone they get clapped? If they done
because
killed
that's
8 people, if they done killed
dude.
8 people in your community, what do you care what
Okay,
happens
well
to them?
then, Trey,
Get rid of that
lead by
soft spot in
example.
your heart.
Lead by example,
Get
Trey.
rid of that soft spot in
Eugenics
your
is
heart, bro.
literally, look,
Lead
eugenics
by
is
example.
literally about refining and then deleting some aspects of genes to
Yes,
kind of
absolutely.
perfect it.
Yes, but that doesn't
And
mean
look,
go
look,
out here and
dude.
start
So
spraying on
I
people.
wanna introduce a different situation. So say a father found out a day after, but it was the mother who caught it in the act. Like all the evidence is there, but the father only found it the day after because he came home from a trip, and the mother didn't want to panic him while he was on the plane, right? So he gets off the trip. He finds out this happened to his little girl, and he goes to find the guy, even though he's in prison. He's in court. Comes up like fucking Batman in the movie where he kills the guy who was accused of killing his parents right there. Bang. Do you know what that is? It's called a crime of passion. It's not vigilantism. You would not be able to control yourself as a father
Understand? And
if that happened.
someone like that would be found not guilty in a court of law because of that. You have had people be completely acquitted because of that shit. Because hey, he killed this person based on it was a crime of passion. He wasn't thinking rationally when he committed this crime. Okay, which
Okay.
it was a crime to
It's for
murder this
sure.
person,
Well, the
but
thing is,
this is
if
the
I
person that
look,
he
like Trey
saw
said,
assault his daughter or
look,
some shit.
like Trey said, if I'm in a park and I see Pook shoot a 3-year-old kid, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna shoot him, and I'm gonna do worse to him if he's still alive. I will
Okay,
do
and when the
so
cops
much
get
worse.
there, how are they supposed to tell who's who? How are they
I'm
supposed
gonna
to tell
tell
the
him
gang member?
exactly what
Okay.
happened.
He's
Exactly how
supposed
I'm
to
not gonna
just
run.
believe you weren't involved. Okay.
There's gonna be witnesses,
That's
bro.
simple, bro. And here's the difference. That's the difference, TVA, between us and you, bro. And I'm just curious. Why is there such an attachment to the lower end of black? That you have such this love, this freaking I
So
don't know
you
what it
can
is,
keep
bro. This
saying that won't
love for
make
those
it
people.
true, bro. You can
I
keep
don't get
saying
it.
it, but it doesn't make it true, bro.
What is it then? Why do you care so much for
Did
them?
you not hear me say that the number one problem for black people was the nigga mind and nigga failure culture? I've
Okay,
said that repeatedly
okay, I
during
got it.
this interview, bro.
And you
Okay,
know
so
what these
how is
No, no,
that?
no, hold on.
criminals?
How
No,
do
no, no,
you
hold on.
hear me say that and think I'm trying to keep us attached to the lower end of like what?
Because you're not willing to do what's needed to do, bro. If shit hit the fan,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be ready. You
Lead
wouldn't
by
pull the
example,
trigger.
Trey. Lead by
You wouldn't
example, Trey.
Well,
you wouldn't pull the trigger,
here's an
bro.
example. Those criminals who did those things to innocents didn't care about due process, so I say they lose their due process.
Well, that's not for you
Eye
to
for an eye.
decide.
I don't care
Again,
if the world goes blind.
there's a reason why the Constitution exists. There's a reason
Oh,
why
okay,
due
all right.
process
So
exists.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. You spend all this time crying and whining about conservatives and worrying about free speech, other people's free speech and other people's free choice. If they want to be racist or not, oh well, let them be. How come the Constitution only matters to you when you get comfy with it? You cherry pick the Constitution. The Constitution is what it is. If
Who
Ragnarok
have I,
wanted to be
who have I
racist and I
advocated
wanted to be
something?
racist back to him, it's
I just
okay.
said that.
It's our
I
free
just said
choice.
that myself. I just said
So
I don't
guess
have a
what?
problem with somebody being I don't care about it's
Look,
about you having but when you hold office, that's a
so
problem. I
what
don't give a fuck what they
can
think
hold
about it.
office? If I'm racist and I say 24/7, I can't stand niggas. I want to see eugenics put
Yep.
in place.
I don't want
Guess
you as
what?
the police chief. I
Guess
don't
what?
want you writing
Guess what?
laws.
If I get elected, mind your biz. I'ma
No,
handle
no.
stuff.
Oh, okay, well, you know
What would
what?
you do?
Let's tell
What would you do?
Let's tell
Nothing.
white people to mind their business. Let's go out here and let's go ahead and make judges out of black people that hate white people. So Ragnarok, if something happens to you, right, and you got to go to court, and you walk in there, and there's a black judge, and this black judge is known for having racial bias against white people. You're just gonna let that slide, right? Because it's just his opinion, right, Ragnarok?
We already have that. No, Ragnarok. Guess what? We
No.
already have that in
It's
Houston,
just his opinion,
We
right? So let's
we
just let
already
it ride,
we
right?
already we
It
already
doesn't
have
matter.
that in Houston, Texas, TVA. We already have
Where?
those judges in the
Where?
U.S.
Where?
In
Name
Houston,
one. Name
Texas.
one. Name
There's
one.
18. Well, there's
Name
17 now
one.
because one
Name
just got
one.
here. There's
Name
there's
one
17
black
now.
judge in this
17
country that
now.
has a history of being anti-white. Please name one.
Now here's the deal.
I
There's been
just
plenty
need
of
one
cases.
name, Trey.
There's been plenty of cases,
Okay,
especially
I
this
just need
year,
one.
of the
I
black
need one name.
So
black
let me
female
You said
judge.
they were all over the place. Can you give me
Okay,
one
now
judge, bro?
So
we
guys,
even
look,
got.
look,
Hold on, I got it, Ragnarok.
I
We
just
even
want to say
had
one sentence.
Go ahead.
So one sentence. So look, if I'm putting up in that court in that scenario, do you want to know what's going to happen before I even walk into that court? I'm going to say fuck the bed, fuck all the system, fuck them all. You know why? Because I know they hate white people in and out. You know how many institutions are against white people right now? You're fucking so blind to it too.
Which ones?
Here
we go. Here we go.
Come on,
I need a
man.
name. I can't get a name. You say all these institutions are anti-white.
Here
You
we
can't
go.
give me one.
It doesn't work.
What institution is anti-white in America specifically?
Okay. Here's the deal, bro. You live in a vacuum, bro. You really do.
Just can't answer the question.
You
just
come
can't answer the
from
question.
TVA.
Can't
You come
answer the
from
question.
Pleasantville, bro. You
I
come
just
from
need
Pleasantville.
one example. Can you give
No,
me one,
bro.
Trey, since you won't let him
No.
talk? Can
No,
you
bro,
give me
I'm
an
not giving
example
you
of
an
an
example.
anti-white institution in America?
I'm not
please?
giving you an example.
Because you don't have one.
I can give him one.
I
Okay.
wouldn't even feed the monkeys, bro.
You have colleges, you have universities, plenty, bro.
You mean the
even
colleges
have
with
corporations.
mostly white professors? Mostly white professors? You mean
Man,
that?
see, okay, so here, see, Ragnarok, this is what I was telling you.
You
what
mean
happens
those
earlier,
universities?
Ragnarok,
Use
when
logic.
you go down the color route. No, remember what I told you earlier, Ragnarok? When you go down the color route, this is what happens. The mind,
How is an
you can't
institution that's
distinguish.
mostly white
You
anti-white?
can't distinguish. Here's the deal. You can't distinguish between any form of white. You have no clue what's going on out there. The discrimination against white males in universities and why more white men, whatever you want to call that is,
Oh
are
my
entering
God.
trades and not colleges and
trades.
universities.
Look at
Especially,
Steve
and
Django.
another reason is this. These colleges and universities are becoming extremely Marxist. We know most American men are conservative, and said conservatives want nothing to do with these Marxist institutions.
And Marxists tend to claim white men are the enemy, specifically white, straight men. So that involves the gender identity groups, that involves the racial identity groups who hate whites, and that involves the people who hate men.
So then that must mean they won't let straight white men into colleges, right? We don't have any straight white men in universities.
So look, they have an acceptance thing. In fact, this Hindu guy tried to go apply with the same scores twice. He went the first time, he was denied because he's Hindu. So this is not a white case, but this has happened with some white people. He goes in as a Hindu, clearly you could tell he's Indian from India. He was not accepted. He was not accepted. He came back dressed as a black. Look,
that's
listen.
been refuted.
Can you be quiet for a second?
That's been refuted. I know what you're talking about. It's been refuted.
It's not refuted.
It's been refuted. He didn't tell the whole story.
This has happened with Asians. This has happened with whites multiple times in different areas. Okay.
Who makes the decision?
The fucking Marxists who infiltrated these institutions.
What color are those Marxists? What color are those Marxists?
They're from all walks of life.
They're white people.
No, they're not, bro. There's tons of black Marxists even in the black manosphere.
Do they control the universities?
Look here, bro. The universities are not controlled
black people control the universities in this country?
Okay, excuse me.
What university in this country is controlled by black people? I'd like to know.
Kamasi, should I tell him, bro? Should I even say it, Kamasi? Should I even start naming them? Should I just start rambling off with them?
You can't even say HBCUs, dude. Because
you were even given evidence from
most HBCUs weren't even established by black people. What are you talking about?
Tuskegee University, Langston University,
people.
Florida A&M, Texas Southern University.
That goes into those universities.
Okay, now look here. Okay, bro.
If you trace the money that's going into these universities, it's not black money.
I could keep on going. Here's the deal.
The money that's going into those universities is not black money. So you're giving bad examples. So I need it. Okay, Trey, you're big enough. I need an anti-white institution, please.
All right, here's the deal.
You've already been given one by Undead Chronic, Harvard. They've had multiple teachers blast on Twitter anti-white slurs.
Harvard is an anti-white institution.
Okay. Hey, Ragnarok, no matter what you say, there will be reflection.
How is Harvard
you can't see the evidence, even though we've been showing them so many.
Can you please let your white daddy speak for himself, bro? Can you shut the fuck up and let the white man speak?
White man.
I know you love him.
I
know you love him. I know you love.
You see, Ragnarok, this is why color does not matter, bro. This is what I was telling you earlier. Their minds are gone. They're like zombies, bro. They are programmed.
Harvard is an anti-white institution, right? That's what you say.
They have teachers and
staff. So if I look at the board, if I look at the people that make
this, no matter what you say.
If I look at the people,
no matter what you say, Ragnarok.
Okay, cool, Kamasi, I gotta go, dude, because this Trey, he's just here to he's here to deflect and fuck up the interview, and I'm tired. Shut the fuck up and let me ask the question, dude. Please.
Where you go?
Ragnarok. If I look up the people that are controlling Harvard, what am I going to see? If I look at the people that are making the decisions at Harvard University, what am I going to see? What color are they going to be?
So all these HBCUs are all skipped over.
You're probably going to find a lot of white guilt type Marxists, white ones, black ones, and even Jewish ones, Latino ones.
Here we go.
Here's the deal. No answer, Ragnarok.
An anti-white institution that's run by white people. Okay.
TJ, real quick though. Shout out to Clue Channel. He has a statement here. I want to get your response on it. Blacks work in admissions and HBCUs. They are literally the gatekeepers.
I couldn't get into there.
It's all black women. Here's what it is. It's all black women running these institutions. And all we heard before is, oh, the families. There's this together. I don't even date black women. I date multiple. I date black women, but I was with an Iraqi woman. If it was a good white woman, I'd be all over it. Okay, here's the deal. For some reason, you're not saying, I want me a queen. I want me a black woman. Because you know what you're getting with majority of black women. They run these institutions. They're the ones that's running the abortion basically system.
So we don't have a bunch of white feminists running around here too, right?
Here's the deal. It don't matter, bro. It doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter when it comes to HBCUs, bro. We're talking HBCUs. And like Clue said, those are majority ran by black women.
Look, don't blame white people for black feminism, okay? Us white men will handle our white feminists, but I sure should see you not being able to handle your black feminists, okay?
Okay, well then don't blame black people for hip hop culture then. How about that?
Oh no, I love hip hop. I just
Okay.
don't like how some people are stupid enough to imitate it.
Okay, well, I don't like how some people are stupid in feminism that you guys started. How about that shit? You started fucking feminism.
We didn't
Feminism came
start
from white
feminism.
women. Okay,
We
then who
didn't
did?
start it.
Who did? What
We
black
didn't
women
start that
started
shit.
feminism? What black woman started the fucking feminist
Oh
movement in
God.
America?
Oh man, somebody's got to show them some of the books by black female
Oh,
authors.
yeah.
Back
Oh
in
No,
my
the
no, no.
day.
I'm
God.
not saying that. Listen, I didn't say there were no black feminists. I'm asking what black
Oh
women
my
started the feminist movement in
How
America.
about
I said,
you
what's the
tell us,
white
bro?
women?
How about you tell us, man?
Because Susan B. Anthony was Asian, right? Those the white women like Susan B. Anthony. Those were Asians, right? Those weren't white women in America, right? Susan B. Anthony wasn't white.
Look, there are white feminists, there are black feminists,
Exactly.
there are even
Exactly.
Latino feminists, there are Jewish feminists,
I
bro.
understand that. I get
What
that.
you don't understand is most feminists, like back then, they didn't care about race. They're all about the women's rights. They
Oh
didn't
my God, they
care.
didn't care about race, but you got
So
plenty of
you
racist statements
trying to
by
put
the
it
white
on
feminists back there.
you trying to put it on white people. Oh, it's because of white people
Planned
feminism. I'm
Parenthood was
hearing this
started
around the
by a
space.
racist white feminist. What are you talking
Yeah, that
about?
fucking hater.
Right. Okay, so they had race. They cared about race back then. What are you talking about? Fuck are you talking about? Did you
Yes,
wait?
some of them cared
Have
about
you
race,
read
some of them
about what those
didn't.
white feminists said about Sojourner Truth?
Have you
They
read
didn't
about
like
what
her.
some black feminists have said about
Yeah,
white people?
they did not. Those white feminists could not stand Sojourner Truth.
Bro, public enemy numero uno between black feminists and white feminists is white men, and now they're starting to target black men.
Have always
Wait,
been on the bottom.
No, literally, they have.
So white men have been targeted in America in its history.
Oh
People been
yes, bro.
In
Yes.
defamation, yes.
Oh
It's
my
always the
God.
straight
And
white
see, I want
man.
everybody to notice this. Look at how the victimhood narrative is
This
A-okay
is
for these
not
Oh
white guys.
my
victimhood.
God.
Nobody calls him
What
a
the
whiner.
heck?
Nobody says he's pulling the race card. None of that shit. This is okay. But as soon as black people claim that we're being oppressed, well, that's a problem.
Who's
Well,
oppressing you? Hold on.
look.
Okay,
The thing
who's oppressing
is, you
you?
grew up in a
Who's
suburb, okay? You
oppressing
didn't grow up
Ragnarok?
on a cotton
No,
farm.
no, no.
Who is oppressing Ragnarok?
You grew up around all these
Who
white
is
folks.
oppressing Ragnarok?
No, which one oppressed you? I just know you grew up around number white folks. Which one oppressed
Okay,
you?
so did Ragnarok.
And
Ragnarok
who?
was born and raised in
Yeah,
a
look,
country that
I
white
grew up
people
facing
control.
No,
I grew
Ragnarok
up
was around
facing
people,
hate
bro.
crimes from
Yeah,
Somalis, Muslims, and blacks. Guess what? I'm not a
Oh
bitch
my
about it though.
God.
Do
Oh
yeah.
you want
my
to know what I
Ragnarok.
God.
did to those people? I put them
Oh
in
my God.
traction.
But I'm
I'm
saying
fine.
though, Ragnarok has more hood cred than you do, bro. Like
Thank you,
who's oppressing
Roscoe.
you?
Thank you, Roscoe. Talking about black feminists hate white men. Since when? What the fuck is he talking about?
They
What?
talk about white
This
patriarchy
guy's
every other
nuts.
day of
Yes,
the
yes.
week.
Black feminists have a huge issue with white men. Feminism is
Oh
all
God. You are so
okay.
full of shit.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, okay. So let
Okay, man.
okay. Here's the deal: are all these feminists that are mad at the Supreme Court right now? Are they saying no? We're cool with the one white guy on the Supreme Court. What's his name? The one that got raided.
Dude.
Who's that? Who's that dude?
Kavanaugh.
Yeah, Kavanaugh. Because last time I checked, there was every race of feminist outside his office.
And they
You know,
also
on a
burned
real
down.
insurrection.
They burned parts of DC when he got put in. The Kavanaugh riots.
Wait.
Literally.
So America's anti-white straight male, but we just elected a white. Well, we just put a white straight male on the Supreme Court. That's amazing.
Here's okay.
No,
That's
Come
they
on,
didn't
bro.
just. This was
That's
Come on,
2020.
amazing.
bro.
How does a straight white male get put into the Supreme Court in a country that hates straight white men?
Because feminists ain't running anything, bro. They just run all these
Wait, but I
institutions.
thought you. Wait,
They
well, then
run.
who's running
They
shit?
don't
Then who's
run
running
the
shit?
Supreme Court, bro.
Who's running shit? If white feminists ain't running shit, who is?
Look,
Here's
they
a
don't run the Supreme Court. You want to know why? You really want to know why? Guess who they're bitching about right now? Because they're about to lose all their abortion rights.
Do you support
Okay,
abortion, bro?
but
Do you support
key
abortion?
word is the key part of that phrase is they're about to lose it, which means they're
Do
about
you
to get
believe
their
in due
way.
process? Do you believe in due
So
process
wait,
for those
so
babies?
straight white men are being oppressed in
Are you
America,
pro?
but they're being put
Are
on the
you pro or
Supreme Court,
anti-abortion?
and they have so
Which
much
way is it?
power they can overturn Roe v. Wade, but we're anti-straight white male
Look,
in
I'm not
America.
going to
Which
use
are
the
you?
word oppressed against white people. No, are
That's
we
what you
being
said.
defamed? No, I didn't say oppressed.
We
Look,
want to
listen to
know
me.
who's oppressing you, bro. You use the word oppressed. I want to know who's oppressing you.
I'm trying to figure out how this country is anti-white. That's what I'm
Pressing you, bro.
Oh damn, he needs a lot more evidence, I guess.
Yeah,
That's
I
another
want to
time,
know.
though.
I seen those white, all
Trey,
black,
wait,
white
Trey.
feminists
So
So
look,
wait,
look, look,
wait.
their
look.
So
It's
wait. So
anti-white
Ragnarok
defamation.
saying America is anti-white. That's not the race card. That's not pulling a race card.
No, you said
I'm not the one
anti-conservative
doing
straight
it. I
white
am
males.
experiencing it.
Yes, conservative straight white males. Yes,
That's
damn
funny
right.
how okay, so the victimhood narrative is okay for them. Okay, cool. I just want to get that clear.
It's not a victimhood narrative. We're just
Yeah,
calling
that's
out
what it
the
sounds like.
defamation.
That's what it
Bro,
sounds like.
but like I said, TVA, you did a good, you know what I'm saying, bro? You sounded real good at the beginning of this, but once you're faced with real conservatism, you folded under pressure, bro, and you went back to sounding like a strag. I mean, I
Says
hate to say it, bro, but just, hey, if you want to be in the gulag, bro, just let me know, man. I might give you a temporary invite so you
says
can
the
come over here, you know.
conservative that said
Come on,
he was
you know
willing to
what,
throw
bro?
out due
Nah,
process.
TVA, we'll give you an internship, bro. You know what I'm
You
saying? We'll
just
give you an
made fun of
internship.
me for referring to the Constitution. You just made fun of me for saying
Yeah.
that I stand by the Constitution and due process. How are you
No, you,
conservative?
you cherry pick it, bro. But here's the deal. Like I said,
How?
I give you an internship, TVA. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we can
How
even.
am I
Hey, we can
cherry
hit.
picking?
Come on, bro. Guess what? We could have an internship. Like every week, you can come on. We can all scream together. We'll get you on, and we'll coach you through it, bro. How to be, truly conservative. You know, and guess what? You might forget about that community nonsense. It
No,
might help you out, man.
It's not going to be brainwashing either. We're actually going to tell you every step of the way to think for yourself.
Yeah, man. I just invite you to the fold, bro.
Invite me to what?
Invite you to the fold, man. Come on over here with us.
Oh, I
We
thought you
kick it
said
for a little bit.
what the fuck? No, I don't. No. You got to get rid of guys like that trailer hood motherfucker, man. You got
Trailer
trash over
hood?
there.
You mean snow? I'm talking about the fellas, man.
Y'all got trash over
Talking
there,
about
Man,
the
man.
fellas
trailer
first, man.
hood died.
No. I'm talking about the fellas, man. I'm talking about you come kick it with me, Kamasi, David, Kid Styles, Clue, man. We chilling. True,
Okay, man,
Free
you're right,
Zone.
but I mean, I can't. I mean, once them Proud Boys show up, man, I can't. I got to go, man. I can't. It's not.
What you worried
You know
about?
what I mean?
And
I
here's,
can't do that, bro.
but what? Okay,
No,
so Proud
can't do
Boys,
that.
man. They like black women, man. They like black women. The black Proud Boys like white
That's
women.
cool.
The
That's
white
cool.
Proud Boys,
Wait, Trey.
huh?
Wait. So you think because somebody fucks a woman of another race that means that they're not racist?
Yes.
So the black Proud Boys that like white
Oh,
women, you
God.
think they're still racist?
Oh
Come
my
on, man.
God.
If
And
they
on
were
that note,
racist, they'd be
and on
all
that
about
note,
racial purity.
listen,
But
ladies and
black-
you don't
gentlemen,
understand what real
I'm
racism
gonna end my part of
is.
this on this note. You had fucking slave masters that were fucking their black female slaves. Are you telling me they weren't racist? That was love, right? So
Okay,
just
sure.
because a white
But
guy fucks a black woman,
Anthony
You
that
don't
means he's not racist.
understand white
R.I.P.
nationalist
Anthony.
racism nowadays, okay?
R.I.P.
They
Anthony
want the
Johnson.
race
Oh,
to be
man.
pure. If they were fucking a black woman, they'd be excommunicated
Oh,
too.
man. That's
Can you
bullshit.
play some
That's
black
a fucking
music
lie.
for freaking
White men have
Anthony
never been
Johnson?
punished in America for dating interracially. That's a lie.
Shout
White
out to
men have
Anthony.
never been punished in a. All right, you know what? You guys are all right. This revisionist history shit. I can't do it. White men have never
No,
been punished for dating
Anthony's the man,
interracially.
bro. You
What?
know Anthony got it
Wait.
popping.
When has there ever been a law against white men for dating interracially?
Bro, Anthony Johnson got
Jim
it popping,
Crow.
bro.
Who?
Anthony Johnson got it popping, bro. Anthony Johnson, shut up, man.
You mean this imaginary black slave master?
He's
that she
not
claimed?
imaginary. There's
No.
legit
He's the
documents.
first one, bro.
Cool
He got it
Kamasi.
popping.
Cool, Kamasi, I appreciate it, man. I got to jump out of here because I got to go ahead and get this gas before I run out of gas. But it's been fun.
Hey,
I
get that
appreciate
diesel
it.
before the prices go up.
We got to do it again, man. Yeah, these diesel
Hey, no
prices.
doubt, man. No doubt. I got your contact, man. Take it easy.
Right. Hey, man, it's been
Yo.
cool, man. You guys have a good one. Like I said, I do not hate white people.
I hope not.
Well, people. Like I said, I just need people to decide.
Well, look, me, it's difficult to hear
Am
you
I
say
a
I don't
Hotep
hate white
pro-black,
people
back to
because I've
Africa,
heard you call
Ungala,
me
Black Power,
racial slurs.
Black Panther? You know what I mean? Or am I a coon? I need people to pick one because I get accused of both and it's confusing. Like I'm just saying. I literally
So
have people accusing me of both.
just before
I got
you go,
guys calling me a Hotep pro-black, and then I got other people, black people calling me a coon. Like what the fuck,
I'm
man? I
not
can't
calling
get
you
you right.
Hotep.
How can I be both?
Look, TVA, hear me out for 1 second, just before you leave. So when you're telling me you don't hate white people, yet I've endured you calling me a trailer monkey, the hard C word, a bunch of other slurs like meth head, given the stereotype, back during our debate on Teapot. Why should I assume you don't hate white people?
Wait, so calling someone names means you hate? Wait, okay, all right.
What,
So
you
let's
literally say
okay.
people on the
So the next
CB are
time,
racist?
right? Okay, cool. So
Look,
the
if you
next time
can't
a police
handle
officer,
Modern Warfare 2 Call of Duty
if
old lobbies, bro, you ain't shit.
if
Trust me.
if the next time a cop is found on Facebook calling black people monkeys and niggers, I need you to hold that same energy, okay? Calling
Okay,
people
sure.
names means you okay, all right, cool. Because I was just, I'm trolling, I'm calling you names. But if it hurts your feelings, I'm sorry, dude. I
It did not hurt
apologize.
my
This is
feelings, to be
okay.
honest. I
Well,
was
then,
shocked you said those things.
I mean, you still remembered it. I mean, it's like months
Yeah.
later, and it's still on your mind, man. So I don't know. It seems like it hurt something.
Well, like
I mean, it hurt
I
somebody.
never caught up with you about it, so I'm asking, like, do you feel
Hey,
bad
man,
about
you
using
guys
those
support the
slurs?
channel. Support the channel. Please like the stream. Support the brothers Cash App, man. This has been really cool. I really enjoyed this discussion, but I gotta get the fuck out of
No
here.
doubt,
So I'm
man.
fucking idle myself into an empty tank, and then I gotta pay some fucker to tow me some. Fuck that shit. So anyway,
Alright.
y'all have a good one.
Take it easy, bro.
Just remember, you don't like the slurs on the CB, so don't use them.
No, I gotta use them back, man. I gotta respond. Fuck that shit. Anyway, I'm off.
That was interesting.
That was fun, man. I don't know why he gets triggered by me, man. What is it?
Man, you're too hard for him, man. Like he
Yeah,
doesn't understand. He doesn't understand a man who comes from the hood, who reformed himself, built himself up, got 6 figures. He doesn't understand that. He came from the dirt, bro. He didn't start at the bottom. He's intimidated. Shit, he's probably intimidated at me as a white dude. I've been in the hood more times than he has. More than he'll never know. Like,
yeah, it's weird, man. But yo, it's been fun, Kamasi. I wasn't even trying to come up and get into it with TVA.
Oh,
I
nah,
just
it didn't sound like it at all.
like soon as he said, "Oh, Trey up here," that nigga came up here when I left.
yo, you trigger him, man. Yo, I hope he looks up into Anthony Johnson one day and realizes a few
Well,
things.
I know my favorite little strag on Twitter, or Hotep strag, conservative strag, Sharice Lane. She just found out the other day that Anthony Johnson was the first chattel slave owner. She about lost it.
Even the white slave owners, as you said, were telling him, yo, you need to treat your slaves better.
But and that's the crazy thing, bro. Why? I don't know, man. This is the last thing. I got to get up out of here. Oh, the old banana in the tailpipe. That was funny when I did that. But why is it such when they find out that black folks the ones that got it popping? Why does that bother them so bad? I would celebrate it.
It's part of the history, and they keep saying we got to
That is an
celebrate the
interesting
history.
question, though.
What's that, Kamasi?
That is an interesting question you asked, though, man. Why? If people knew more about Anthony Johnson, would dudes want to be more like him? In their own little way, open a business and hire people to work for them.
Be a boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But man, I'm about to hit this bed.
Yeah, man. I'm about to end this stream, man.
Peace out, man.
Thank everybody for coming out. We had Trey up here, we had BMT, Ragnarok, the guests of the hour, TVA. Go subscribe to his channel and check out his stuff, man. If you know what I'm saying, you want to get more in depth with TVA. And I appreciate it, man. Thank y'all for staying up with me this night, man. I appreciate it. We'll do it again, man. Peace.